the unknown, down the rabbit hole, where it stops, no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Well, hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome back to Criminality. Or if this is your first time here, welcome to Criminality. I know, it has been a very, very long time. So thank you guys for being here. I have missed you all so much. Hi, I'm going to say hi to you guys in chat, and then I'm going to give you kind of this a little what the hell we're going to be doing today, because everybody's like, I don't even know what the topic is. And I'm like, yeah, that's because there really isn't one. But it's T. I know her. I know that one. Oh, thank you, CH. So there's obviously things that have changed on StreamYard, on YouTube, that I am not up to date on. So just a heads up, if I screw something up, it's been a little while. So let me say hi to you guys in chat. It's my first time here, Fiend. It's my first time. Hi, Jeanette. Crime Ghost. Oh my gosh, I've missed you so much, T, that I started watching cake decorating videos waiting for you to gain 20 pounds. Okay. I cannot be held responsible for that. That's unfair. That is unfair. Thank you. Thank you very much. It is definitely summertime in Southern California. Unindicted. What's up, Shibby Shibby? Hi, Mav. Okay, so this is also new. Hey, baby Bill. Thank you. What's up, Ramblin'? So if I click on you guys, it shows that I already clicked on your comment. That's kind of interesting. That's a new update. What's up, Angel Eyes? Hi, Hillary. Journey! I purposely scheduled this a little bit earlier than I normally would because I know that Journey wanted to be here for at least part of the live. American Nightmare, you've been binging this stuff? Oh, gosh. Hopefully the good stuff. Because, I mean, there is some stuff that's like, what the fuck was I thinking when I did that? You're glowing. And I think that's a little sweat. It's a little hot here. It's like 90-some degrees. So, what's up, Skin Row? Hey, Mayla's mom. Oh, it's so good. Legit. Marshall, what's up? Okay, let me scroll up. Hi, did I say hi to Christy? I clicked on your comment. I don't know if I actually said hi to you. Let's go back up here and see you. Brian. Let's see who else is in here. Dina. So it changed it, and I think this was something that had happened when I came live a few months back, where like it changed it to like everybody's handle name versus like your actual name, which I think is stupid. So if you can, make sure you just change your handle name to something that actually matches who you are. Okay. Hi, Jamie. What's up, Sharon? Hi, Bailey. Karen, oh my God, I couldn't click enough. I couldn't click fast enough. Hi, everyone. What's up, Christy? I said hi to you already. I'm going to say hi to you over and over because I think you said hi to me a couple times. Real government name. I know that is somebody else. I just don't remember who it is. Real government name. Who the hell are you? Because I know that's not your handle. Why do I feel like that's, I don't know who that is. See? So bad. This is why I can't ever leave. This is my legal name. What's up, Rot? Let me see what else is down here. What's up, Deb? Hi, Mar. Okay, I'm scrolling back up because I know there was quite a few people who had commented before the live actually started, and I want to say hi to you guys because I've just missed you guys, and I know people are gonna be like, just saying hi to everybody again. Fucking didn't miss that, whatever. What's up, Tony? T-Dub. Susie Q. Okay, why won't you go down? Go down. Thank you, Tim. You have to tell us what you've been doing to entertain yourself. I will. So I'll fill you in on all the life things. What's up, Johnny? This is my legal name, even though Prof insists it's not. Dude, I can tell you, like, there's certain things like that I just do not miss. I don't. C-Dub, I've missed you. What's up, Luke? News junkie? How long's it been? Okay, so for consistency purposes, how long has it been? I haven't done anything consistently on this channel for all of 2026. Hi, Oksana. I did cover, so we're just going to throw in some Delphi real quick. For Delphi, there was the response to the Richard Allen appeal, and we covered that. What we haven't covered is the appellate attorney's response back. So we did one, I think I've done one, maybe two lives in like all of 2026. So I took a very big hiatus. I talked about it a little bit on New Year's. I went on Carrie's channel, which was a ton of fun for New Year's. So I'll just give you guys just a little bit of just like kind of what's going on in my life, and then we can kind of break down whatever the fuck we want to break down, whatever we want to do. My camera's stupid. So it's unfair to abandon us like that. In IS Hockett, what's up, Sorcerer Tree? I did not mean to abandon anybody. I have checked in like periodically here and there, but I really just kind of felt like I really needed some me time. First and foremost, I wasn't living my best life, I guess I would say, in the short of it. And, there's obviously, everybody has like, shit that goes on in life, and you have your ups and you have your downs. And I just don't think I was dealing with a lot of things. So I kind of just wanted to put, I really wanted to try to put like me first. And I'm very big on my kids always come first, obviously. But I was kind of lacking in the not self-care necessarily, but just like mental health care for myself. And I just wanted to kind of take some time to figure that out without it being like an up and down thing. So instead of like trying to come on and then leave and then come on and then leave, I kind of just figured, I was just going to take the hiatus and kind of get my own shit together. And, I don't know. Like, I don't really know how else to explain it. It was kind of just like I needed to take some me time. Like I rejoined my gym that I hadn't been to in years. I started hiking all the time. So I go hiking. I try to go at least once a week. I'm outside. I try to spend as much time, obviously I'm tan. I try to spend as much time outside as possible versus like inside. Trying to get rid of like, doom scrolling on my phone. And it wasn't like YouTube was like toxic to me, because I kind of feel like I had already expunged a lot of that from my life over the last few years. And you guys who all have been here for a long time, you guys know, like, I just really can't give that much of a shit, because I just can't, because I can't give two fucks what somebody over in Colorado wants to post on their page about me. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of my energy. And that's how you got into distance running. Yeah. I mean, it's just, and like I said, for any of you guys who've been around for a long time, you guys know, like I suffer from major anxiety. I have panic attacks, a panic disorder. Most of that's been under control for a really long time. And I think that with You know, it's been 3 years since I lost my dad, and how did I really deal with that? Did I deal with it? So I don't know. It's like a ton of I mean, this sounds like so cheesy, but like I can't tell you, like in November, like I sat down with my husband and I was like, I am going to make some changes. And he's like, well, what the fuck? What do you mean you're going to make some changes? I'm like, I have to, see, Dub, I love you too. And I love Colorado. I was just throwing that out there. But I was just like, I have to, I think you're married for so long, and we've been together for over 19 years. I have, 3 kids. My dad had been sick. My mom isn't well. And there just came a point where I just stopped doing anything that had to do with me, besides true crime. And I'm like, okay, that really can't be healthy, right? Like I have to probably find other outlets. So what's up, Four Pits? So Dr. Pepper, I don't drink Dr. Pepper, very, very rarely. I got rid of Dr. Pepper. I have my water bottle. I drink tons and tons of water. And, I don't know. That's just kind of how it went. Judge Jessica, what's up? Gosh, T, it doesn't seem like it's been 3 years since you lost your dad. I know. My husband even was like, it hasn't been 3 years. And I'm like, it's been 3 years. It was 3 years in May. So, are we rolling our eyes? What are we rolling our eyes at? Somebody tell me, because I'm obviously lost. Uh-oh. I do. I feel good and I am happy. It's not a done thing. But like I said, so I really just wanted to find things that like I used to just enjoy in life, like before I was a mom and before I was a wife and all of that. I just wanted to figure that out. I just wanted to find those things again that I could not just dwell in all the shit that was like ugh, before it took over. So anyway, that's where I've been. Let's see what's happened in my life. My oldest son graduated high school and is going to college this fall. He wants to be an engineer. So that is a huge milestone in my life because I'm like, God, I'm really am fucking old. Thanks, Amanda. I mean, honestly, like it was just, I think that sometimes you just have to fucking do it. Like it was like, I have to find my happy places. Otherwise, that like I said, it sounds cheesy because like there's so many like sayings like, happy wife, happy life or whatever. And like, it's like, find your own, you can't make other people happy till you're happy kind of thing. And it's like, so anyway, congrats to him. I know. Thank you. Yeah, so he's a super smart kid. I'm not biased at all. So those are sayings for a reason. Happy wife, happy life is so true. It probably is. Live, laugh, love is the worst. I think I actually have that sign in my house, Marshall. But like I said, so I mean, I've still kept up on things. I've peeked in. I've popped on Twitter. I've still followed true crime. I just tried to stay away from, like I said, from like the doom scrolling or the overly invested in like that being like my only thing. Okay, so MJ, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Nolan Wells today. I have messaged Sleuthy and texted her and haven't heard back yet. So I actually just heard back from her. So hopefully she'll pop in sometime. Obviously she's got the automatic invite. She can get into StreamYard on her own without me sending her a link or anything. So if she has time, I hope that she comes up. What was I saying now? Did I stay off of YouTube pretty much completely? No, I didn't. I mean, like live wise, yes, I didn't. Veronica. I would watch things here and there. I watched a couple trials. I just tried to, like I said, I just honestly was just trying to make it so like it wasn't my only me time and I probably said this to you guys like while I was live, my only me time in my life was literally on here with you guys. Other than that, like I was constantly going, and I've like made time, like, I've reconnected with friends and I've like been going out and like hanging out with them. And just, like I said, just doing things that aren't mom or wife or, child of an elderly parent related. That's hi ATS. That's really it. Oh, you could do better than us. But I mean, I missed you guys. So no, I popped it on Twitter. I would, I'd pop on YouTube channels, not live on YouTube channels, but like in chats, just say hi to people. And sometimes it wasn't even like I wasn't gonna listen, but I did. I said hi to Shibby on that hiatus. So I just, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, and I kind of just have to figure that out. So and other things that I was doing. So I was doing like some freelance work for some friends of mine. So that was also very, very time consuming. So when I had originally thought like, okay, I'm probably going to come back, this offer was on the table. And obviously, the paycheck is, important at points in life. So I just was like, I'm going to do that. And so I chose to not come back. But that's when I was still like following along and just, popping in, like I said, to different channels or whatever. So you pop up in Andrea's. I did. Because I was watching. We're going to talk about that case too. Pop up in Andrea's when she's covering trials because she's just so fucking smart. I just love watching her. So anyway, that's kind of where I've been. That's what I've been doing. If there's anything else that pops up, I'll share it with you. Like if I think of like something else I did that was like, ooh, there's something else. I went to North Carolina. Awesome. I did. I went to, of course, I had to say hi to Bob. Pop it, lock it, drop it. I went to North Carolina for my daughter's national gymnastics competition, which we do every year. We don't necessarily go to North Carolina. Last year we were in Green Bay, Packers. And the year before that we were in Philly, and the year before that we were in Ohio. I mean, so we go all over. But once a year in the summer, my daughter and I take a trip, and it's just her and I. So, dude, C-Dub, let me just tell you, I'd never been to North Carolina. I don't know if anybody in the chat is from North Carolina, but those people were so fucking nice. And my daughter and I would like look at each other and we're like, why are they like, they're just so nice. Everybody so fucking nice. Like I'm checking out at the Target and the guy's just like, you need to keep smiling, girl, because you have a beautiful smile. And I'm like, well, thank you. Like, okay. Where I like the parking attendant at like the gymnastics competition, like stops me and she's like, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you should buy your pass today. Like, and like tells me like the whole spiel on everything and like how to like, maneuver like to make everything cheaper for me. And I was like, well, thank you. Like they're just so fucking nice. I was like, that is just very interesting. Like you guys are just so overly friendly and like, not that people aren't friendly in Southern California. I mean, I feel like we're nice, but like that's just not, you don't get that. It was just like above and beyond just nice courtesy of just people talking to you. I went into like a gas station one time and the guy's like just having a full on conversation with me like we've known each other for like years. So, hi Indiana girl. I'm on Virginia near North Carolina. Can confirm very hospitable around here. Yeah. So I was like, I mean, besides the humidity, so fucking hot. I mean, I had to work in Florida a lot over the summers, like when I would travel for work. And so I knew it was going to be bad, but it was so fucking hot. It was just miserable hot. It's just, and then you just instantly feel like, I'm going to say a word that most of you guys are going to get mad at, but you just instantly feel like moist. You're just like, and you can't like really put lotion on because if you put lotion on, then you're just like slimy. It's like so bad. My daughter is a hoodie teenager, and so she's like, I can't even wear my hoodie outside. What am I gonna do? My life is over. What did I say? You should visit Texas. So I have family in Texas. I used to go to Texas quite a bit. I haven't been to Texas in a long time. Yeah, you're just instantly sweating. Good thing like I was at a hotel, and so like I could just crank that fucking air conditioner. And then my daughter's like, I'm so cold. I'm like, good, put on your hoodie. Yeah, I did. I said it. You're sorry. I'm a hoodie adult. Well, you know what, C-Dub? I swear I think you and my daughter are related. I always have. It's crazy. Put the lotion on the moist. You can't put lotion on because then you're just like slime. So, all right, let me see. No, not moist. Let me see what else you guys said. Is chat rough? Dude, you guys just like handle it. I love it when you cover trials because I feel you are so non-biased. Give us a true connection as to what's going on. Oh, Taco Girl, thank you. I feel like my mods must be like on this because if there's shit going down in chat, I have no fucking idea. Or I'm just not fast enough to recognize it yet anymore. Or, you know, so here's another thing I will tell you, and it feels like the whole family's back together. Well, so this was something I did realize while on my hiatus, is that people I get along with no longer get along with each other. And I'm like, son of a biscuit eating bulldog. I fucking hate when that happens, because then it's like a lot of the times, you know, I don't even know all the information, and then I'm like kind of told like you need to kind of choose, and it's like I don't even understand everything that's going on. Like I can't make that choice. I just can't without like an educated, you know, of like a decision. And so I'm like, fuck, not like I don't want to. But yeah, there's like people, because like all kinds of shit's happened, you know, all over the Krama be crumbing. Ain't that a fact? I'm modding so hard right now. Being, I expect nothing less. I expect nothing less. Have I met Sleuthy in person yet? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. But I mean, man, I swear it feels like there was a meme I sent her like a week or so ago. I have been in consistent contact with Sleuthy, so it's not like I haven't. It's not like I've been totally out of touch. I'm gonna see if I can find this meme that I sent her though, because I was like, this is like legit us. Hold on. Like, so somebody asked, like, how did you two meet? And it's like, oh, we were actually burned at the stake together in 1692, and we vowed to find each other in every lifetime. Thank you for asking. Sleepy's like, that's like us. That's legit us. No, I don't even know if I have to choose. I don't even know. I don't even know all the extent of it. I just noticed that people that used to get along are now like not getting along. And I'm assuming that somebody who came into my chat that I thought I got along with just fine, I think they got blocked for saying something that was not good. Hey, without borders. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. So I was thinking, because it has been so long and so much shit has happened in true crime, that we should touch base on cases that I did pay attention to, cases you guys paid attention to, maybe just kind of touch on those, see if we need to backlog anything, like do a live that just like hits some of that. I've already had the request, and I already know that I need to do the appellate attorneys from Delphi, the response. And so some of the first lives back may actually be old info, I guess, if you will. Like, you know, but I haven't covered it, and I haven't even dove into it. So some of it will be brand new to me. So I know that I'm going to do a live to cover at least that. And then there's other cases that I'm like, okay, like there's stuff happening that I've covered that case for a very long time. So I kind of want to look further into it because I haven't. And so, for example, Letitia Stout, and anybody who's not familiar, that's, you know, was Gannon Stout's stepmother who was convicted of killing him. We covered the whole trial I've covered the case, I've covered the whole trial. And she recently, a few months back, got the appellate court is now basically like overturning that and saying, because of an error by the judge, which sucks because I fucking love that judge too, that she gets a new trial. There's no doubt in my mind that she's guilty. It's not even a question. But and at first, my first instinct, I think when I saw it was like, fuck that bitch. Like, she's so guilty. Like, nobody even needs to ever like give her a chance at anything. And somebody, I think it was on Twitter, made a comment like, you say you feel that way or something like this. They're like, you say you feel that way. It might have been one of you guys. But you want justice to be done correctly. Like, you don't want there to be any like loose ends like that. And I'm like, fine, you're right, but still, she's fucking guilty. So I want to dive into that more. And now the Attorney General has requested an appeal to the appellate decision. I don't know if there's an answer to that yet. So basically, he's saying, like, look, whether this error was an error or not, like, there was so much evidence against her. Like, we don't really need to spend the taxpayer monies, get another jury, and do this all again. Just to convict her because the evidence is extremely overwhelming. So I don't know, maybe somebody in chat might know, but that I don't know if that decision's already been made. Even painted your toes blue during that whole trial. If you remember, that's what we were supposed to do. That's right. That's right. Well, I don't think she can. I mean, I don't know how she would. I don't know how she could. The only way she would be able to do anything is by saying that she was insane at the time. So I want to dig into that. Like I said, that's obviously not going to be new news, but I haven't read the documents, and I'd like to see like exactly what was said versus like just the news or articles and whatnot. So like in that case, because if there is another trial, I will absolutely cover it, even though she's a psychopath and is just a disgusting human being. But she was insane, but I don't think that. I think that her insane is different because I think it's more based on that she's just mentally unwell, like versus actually insane. What's up, Snappy Dragon? Don't forget the toes. Oh, you want me to show you a toe? I still have toes. There's a toe back there. If Sleuthy was here, she would have totally showed you the toe. Okay, so let's see. Alec Murdaugh, which if anybody watched that trial, there was just really no doubt in my mind that guy was going to get a new trial for the murder of his wife and son. Pawpaw. He's a pawpaw. Again, piece of shit. I've just a piece of shit human being. I was not 100% convinced that he was guilty of killing them, but I absolutely was convinced that he knew what happened and was just once again a piece of shit human being. So it was kind of like it's a chicken. Yeah, that's right. So it was one of those like, does it matter because he's a garbage human being. And whoever did it obviously was connected to him in some way, in my opinion. Alec. So there's that one that got overturned, and so he's going to get a new trial for his wife and son's murder. I don't really know. That one could be interesting to me simply because, well, one, those attorneys in South Carolina are just like I don't know. I don't even have the right word for it. Entertaining. So, but his attorneys during the first trial had accidentally opened the door to the finances, which we all know he's fucking guilty of because, like I said, just garbage human being. And so they had accidentally opened the door to all the financial stuff, which then changed the entire course of that trial because none of that was supposed to be in there. And it had already been eliminated out. They were not allowed to bring it up. But since the defense opened the door to it, then he got what is are they the attorney general? That's not what he is. South Carolina, what do they call them? Is it the attorney general? Am I thinking incorrectly? What's up, Julie? It's not the attorney. It's like not a special prosecutor. My brain isn't saying the right word. See, I like Dick. Little poot poot. No. The like a prosecutor, but they're not a prosecutor there. They're not a prosecutor in South Carolina. They're called something else, and I can't for the life of me think of what it is. Maybe it is the attorney general, and I'm just drawing a blank on it. No, they're not. See, yeah, they're not. They're not the DA. They're called something else. So the clerk of court in that case, see, that whole case is just a fucking clusterfuck. It's just such a. That's why I said it. I mean, I don't want to like entertaining such a bad word when you're talking about murder, but like as a law person and a like somebody who likes all the intricacies of like that side of it, the solicitor. Thank you. That's what they are. It was an entertaining watch because of just the legal side of things and how his attorney was stupid enough to open that door. But like the first guy on the scene, his brother was a juror. Then you got the clerk of the court, Becky Hill, who is a fucking nightmare, and she's back there taking pictures of him and then like selling them and then writing a book with some guy who like goes on a whole crusade to defend her. And then her son is like doing shit behind the scenes from his job. And then it's like everybody gets fucking arrested. And it's like now Becky Hill is going to go, Becky Hill's going to be in jail while Alec Murdaugh is getting a new trial. And it's like, so who has the last laugh kind of thing, So. Julie, you got some interesting things going on over in the Delphi. We were talking that we're definitely not done with Delphi. I don't think that's ever going to be done. Yeah, the Beckys, fucking Beckys. So yeah, Becky Hill, I mean, doing everything she could to make a quick buck, and just really fucked up that whole thing. So I'm honestly like that one. I was not surprised when they were like, oh yeah, he's gonna get a new trial. Let me see. What's up, woman? Let me pull this up real quick. And then, of course, we have the slime ball, Adam Montgomery, who was found guilty of killing his daughter, Harmony Montgomery, in a horrendous case. So now he got his conviction overturned as well. So you're gonna get a new Adam Montgomery trial. That case was very hard for me to cover legally because I had major frustrations with his wife, Kayla Montgomery. She got cut a deal, and I think she's just as guilty as he is. So it was like a hard pill to swallow, like watching her take the stand and testify against him, because it's like you need her testimony to convict him because you hate him so much because he's a piece of shit. But you know that she's totally getting off, basically scot-free. Yeah, you get a new trial, you get a new trial, you get a new trial. It's just so, yeah, I'll say it's so hard to hear. So hard to hear. Yeah, I think at the beginning of the trial I started cover. I think I did a video and I was like on a couple of my friends' channels about it. And then I was so just like, I fucking hate her so much, Kayla Montgomery. And I hate the fact that like, in order to convict him, she gets to go up there and everybody's like, oh yeah, she's telling the truth. And it's like, this fucking bitch she's a habitual liar. And so why are we giving her anything? So that was a tough one for me. Yeah, I fucking hate how she got off. I hate it. So he gets a new trial. So yeah, it's like you get a new trial, you get a new trial, you get a new trial. Except for Todd Mullis. So known across social media as the corn rake killer. He went through post-conviction relief, had a hearing that I just thought was top notch. And I really thought that she was going to come back. And I thought fairly quickly that she was going to come back with, yeah, he gets a new trial. And no, didn't get a new trial. So he was denied. So that's another thing that's happened while I was gone. And who else got it? Oh, Zach Adams. So Zach Adams, that was one of the cases I was actually going to cover, the first trial and the post-conviction relief trial, and I never ended up doing it because that was when I decided to take my hiatus. Yeah, super bummed about Todd. So like you have these, you're watching Letitia Stout and you're watching an Adam Montgomery, and these people are absolutely 100% guilty, and you're watching them get new trials. And then you have people like Todd Mullis, who, in my opinion, is absolutely not guilty. And it's just like, yeah, no, sorry, you're just going to sit there and rot. So those things are, that's tough. Zach Adams, same thing. Like, how do you not get a new trial when your star witness is literally telling you that he lied in the first trial? Like your star witness who's telling you how everything went. Like, how do you just go, yeah, sorry, that's just not enough? I don't know. So that one's a struggle. I have a whole list. So I have a whole list of all the cases of shit to talk about with you guys. Somebody brought up Mackenzie Shirilla. So I did not watch that case necessarily. I watched a lot of highlights of it, and my good friend ATS News in the chat here has done an amazing job covering it. So I have watched all of her coverage of it. So I am curious to know what you guys think of Mackenzie Shirilla. No, she's getting a new trial, MJ. Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to look it up because the Attorney General filed an appeal against her appeal for a new trial. And so if he wins, then everything stays the same. And I don't know if there's a outcome for that yet, but she has been awarded a new trial. Yes. Based on the fact that one of the jurors was related to somebody who worked in the DA's office. And it was brought up to the judge, and the judge didn't do anything about it. So yeah. So if you guys are Mackenzie Shirilla, like you guys have questions, ATS News, I'm telling you, has dug into like every angle of that case. I don't think I know that name. That doesn't sound familiar. Let me write it down. I think she's I agree with you. I agree with you. I think she is a dangerous human being. But I'm curious what you guys think on, if you guys did you follow it, and what do you think of it? Let me write this name down. ATS is still grinding, always. All I know is I wouldn't hang out with her. I got caught up on the cold case that Ahmad Cruz defended. Crazy wrong. The jury room door was so close they could hear the sidebars and judge shitting on defense lawyer. Oh, so that's interesting. Angry Killjoy. Mackenzie is innocent and she was railroaded. Is there what is your thought on like why somebody would want to railroad her? Does that make sense? Like, why do you think that? Why would she, of all people, get railroaded? Does that, you know what I mean? Like, what's the purpose? Her parents are a nightmare. Julie says, Indiana AG wants justice, but his role is protective of all the corrupt and otherwise prosecutors, prisons, anything state. So far, it's been kissing ass of them. It's not over. Well, Delphi for sure. I am not going to Delphi. No, I will cover it, but now I'm not going to go. So we can touch back on Delphi too. So for Delphi, because I'm still curious about your guys' thoughts on Mackenzie. For Delphi, it's going to be oral arguments are going to be heard on September 21st, as of right now, unless it gets rescheduled, which I doubt it will. So, well, I'm not going to Indiana, but either way, Kate, right? Party of teas. Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust Todd Kita either. Okay, so No more thoughts on Mackenzie, Shrilla. If you set up a live now for the oral arguments, we will have a countdown. That's true. We could do that. I'll make a thumbnail. She never faced consequences of her actions in her life. I blame her parents for that, but she gonna learn now. So another thing is like a lot of people, when it comes to Mackenzie's case, they watched the documentary or the documentaries, but the latter one was very convincing to the public. As I would like read comments from people, it was very convincing to the public on that she was guilty. I'll tell you right now, I did not watch. I didn't watch either one, but I don't ever, knowing what we know and what we have covered on cases, and then watching documentaries like that, we know they're not accurate. So like it sucks to see. But I was one of those people, like, the Datelines and the 48 Hours and the Netflix documentaries, people that are like, oh, I'm interested in true crime, but I'm not going to take the time to actually dig into like all the facets of every piece of this. But like for cases we've done that with, Delphi, anything that ever came out about Delphi was fucking bullshit. Like it wasn't even accurate to what was being said. I mean, this goes back, I think the first case that I really fucking realized, like, okay, this is just, people are just making shit up on Netflix or whatever documentary streaming service you're watching it on, was the Watts case. Like when they're literally on there, like lying about dates shit happen. And it's like, you gave us this little, bit of discovery that you had at the time, and you're not even quoting your own shit correctly. Like, it's like, it's right here. And you're saying things that are wrong and nobody cares. But it's like, that matters because timelines fucking matter. And you're just saying shit that is inaccurate, and you're the DA, Yeah, and they paint NK as an innocent mistress, and fuck her. So, I mean, I watched it with Delphi. I watched it with Murdoch even. And even though, like I said, I think that guy's garbage, I'm watching there was like I can't remember what it was called, but it was like 3 episodes. And I'm like, that's not fucking accurate information. We literally just read these reports from trial, and you're wrong. So I struggle with that. If I watch it, it's literally, I have to take it as entertainment, because I know that that's not necessarily what is coming out in court documents or in trials. And we also know that not everything that's accurate even gets to fucking trial, because then it's eliminated out. What's that, spooky? We have to have a big slumber party. Yeah. If I ever make it there. I planned on going there for the trial, but I never ended up making that happen. My coworker killed a mother of 4 drunk driving and got 15 years. Oh, Darlie Rudy, yeah. Do you think what do you think of her? Do you think she's guilty? That's just a side quest. She's not somebody that I'm like looking into. Right. Facts. Right. Yeah. Documentary, they don't give you all the things. You think not guilty. Right. This is true. So Susie Q says, like, YouTube investigative reporting and the dismantling of court TV, so much is changing to allow mainstream media to report and slant cases. And that's just even get into the courtroom because there's so many that don't want to allow cameras in there anyway. JFK docs and Scott Peterson documentaries are never full of truth either. 100%. So speaking of Scott Peterson, there is a new documentary out on Scott Peterson's case. Again, I have not watched it. This one I do plan. You're going to go live after me? Okay. Do you have it set up where I can send people to you? So I have not watched it, but I do plan on watching the Scott Peterson one. And I think that's simply because in my life, I think I've watched every Scott Peterson documentary, Lacey Peterson documentary that I possibly ever could. So Bailey says, yeah, I used to be a 2020 Dateline documentary watcher and got my family on it. Now I have to tell them the facts of the case after they watch the case. Like, that's inaccurate. That's not true. Just finished watching it. Yeah, so I will, I'm going to watch that. Even though, like I said, another case that I've watched like every documentary on, JonBenet Ramsey. Ellie, she essentially basically quit YouTube. She had some issues with the channel, and I don't know if you guys remember. She's asking about CDT. When YouTube was going like fucking nutso on any type of reposted content, and like creators were like losing channels left and right. Free Ricky Bay. So I think at that point she was just like, I'm gonna take a hiatus, and that was kind of it for her. I still see her like in like Facebook groups every once in a while though. I'm watching Dayline right now. My wife likes it. Just as long as she knows that's not always accurate. Did you guys know for a lot of those that tell the people the document is contingent on him getting a guilty verdict, there is no money and he is innocent cases? I think that's nuts too. Nico, the interview room was doing a series on JonBenet, and it's really interesting. Oh, Chris? Keep my thoughts to myself. Oh, shout out to CDT. It's like bringing it back to the old school, because I'm an old fool who's so cool. Okay, let me see. I used to love Dayline in 2020. Lacey! Okay, let me see what else I have on here. So Scott. Okay, let's see. What else has been going on? Ooh, there is a case that I want to talk to you guys about, but let's touch on a few of the other ones first. Who watched Corey Richins' trial? Anybody watch Corey Richins' trial? The mom that wrote the childhood grieving book after her husband died, and then she just got convicted of killing him. You watch Corey Richins? Okay, so what did you guys think? What did you guys think of that? She's obviously appealing, trying to get a new trial. Sleuthy, what's up? Does anybody in here think Corey Richins is not guilty? Let's just go with that. What's up, Andy? Classy chick. Yeah, super classy. I think she did it, but I don't think they really proved it. Ooh, interesting. I think they didn't prove it. Ooh, this is interesting. When the state doxed an undercover cop on national TV. See, that's the kind of shit, though, that like people get like, oh, this is why they can't put cameras in the courtroom. Hold, please. I have a tiny human. Who can guess what he wanted? Food. Always. Always food. Bottomless pit. What's up, Duck and Felonies? Okay, so I was reading some of your comments here. So there's basically everybody thinks that she's guilty, but they are not necessarily convinced that the court proved that she's guilty. Yeah, food. Always. Always food. Bologna sandwiches or ice cream. All right, let's see. Who else is there? Okay, so Blaze Taylor, I saw you, Bailey. I saw you bring it up. I'm going to talk about him in a minute. Who watched, or not really watched, but followed Athena Strand, the Tanner Horner trial? Remember that he was the FedEx driver who said he accidentally hit her, and then he was worried that she was going to, tell on him, and so he took her and put her in his truck. And but then it comes out in court that she's on my list, Susie. Comes out in court that she's like talking and like not hurt at all, and like she's like, "Are you a kidnapper?" That dude is a demon. That dude is a demon. Yeah, so he was convicted, and of course, he is appealing. That case is terrible. I'm friends with her mom on Facebook. Oh, fuck, dude. It tears me apart every time she posts, and she is constantly putting like memories up of her daughter, of Athena. And like that was an interesting case too, because if you guys remember, like when Athena went missing, the public immediately said it was the stepmom. They immediately said it was the stepmom, that the stepmom did something to her. Totally deserved the death penalty. The little girl. Yep. He'll probably get a new trial just because. Yeah, because I absolutely think he's guilty and that there was enough evidence. Yeah, somebody will give him a new trial just so the family will have to do that all again. Poor little girl, dude. That so bad. That poor jury. Thanks, Andy. Everyone gets a new trial. Yeah. One of the worst cases I've ever heard. I agree. I was happy that like Stephen Stearns, like that he went and took a plea deal, because I feel like that would have been a horrendous trial. I also feel like Harmony's case, luckily for that jury, it's such a conundrum because like you're saying things, it's such a catch-22. Luckily for that jury, they didn't actually have Harmony's remains, but unlucky for, obviously, for the family who doesn't have her remains. You know what I mean? Like, but the jury didn't have to, at least they had to see some pretty yucky stuff. But with Athena Strand, like that's fucking terrifying. Like you're watching her and her little voice, and then it's kind of crazy they put the jury and the family through all that just for the death penalty. But I get it, I guess. Yeah, but he's appealing. He's appealing it now anyway, though. So yeah, I mean, they had to determine whether he was, and then yeah, the jury has to decide whether he's getting the death penalty. Not every state's like that though. So I mean, sometimes it's just, yeah, take the guilty plea, and the judge just says, yeah, you're good. He pled guilty, but they had to do the entire thing for all the evidence, everything, for the jury to decide whether he was going to get the death penalty, for the death penalty phase. Because he did not get offered a plea deal. So different, because like Brian Kohberger, gets offered a plea deal and says, hey, I'll plead guilty if the death penalty is gone. Tanner Horner just says, I did it, I'm guilty. But because, hi Tenny, but because it's a death penalty case, he'll have automatic appeals for years. So he's just going to appeal the death penalty. So sad. So sad. I can't do kids unless there's a question on if they got the wrong person or some kind of injustice. He can appeal death penalty. With the death penalty, you have automatic appeals, and it'll go all the way up. So no matter what, it's just an automatic. So that's why when people are like talking like pro death penalty or anti death penalty, outside of the morality of it, it's really financial, because people who are sentenced to death row cost the taxpayers a lot more money than people who are sentenced to life in prison. And a lot of people don't really get that, because they're like, well, life in prison, I got to feed them, I got to, provide all this shit for them while they're in prison. But no, the death penalty, it's because they get every appellate court at every level is an automatic that they're going to see it. They're going to listen to it. So like we talked about, like Richard Allen's case, obviously not death penalty. And it's like the appellate court can just deny. Or like a Todd Mullis, where it goes to post-conviction relief hearing, and then you have 5 days of testimony, and the judge just says, yeah, sorry, there's just not enough new evidence to support getting a new trial. So death penalties always get appealed. It's an automatic appeal. What's up, streets? Aw, don't fight a nap. Just give in to the relaxation. Nellie Mae, I'm just thinking about you. Prof thinks you're a law enforcement plant again. I really fucking wish I had a paycheck to prove that. But, it is what it is. Also thinks that I took $5,000 and ran off into the sunset. Because $5,000 is sustainable for the rest of my life. Yeah. Boy, come to Southern California, see how long that shit's going to last you with 3 kids. Whatever. Anyway, like I said, I'm not going to get into all that crap. But okay, so we had that trial happened, and like I said, automatic appeals because he got death penalty. How about Larry Maletti? Larry Maletti, Southern California, Chula Vista. I in my mind, I was like, I should just drive down there and go to that fucking trial, because they did not stream it, which sucks. So he was very recently convicted of killing his wife in Chula Vista, California. She goes by, her name is Maya, but they call her May Maletti. And dude, you guys don't know much about that case. That case it's an interesting case because he's fucking kooky. He it was like January 2021, and she went missing, and she was planning on leaving him. She like literally set up an appointment with a divorce attorney. They had 3 kids together, and she just went missing. But like, come to find out, like, dude, this dude has like an altar where he's like doing witchcraft to like get her to do things to like not leave him. She was having an affair. What's up, Kat? Holy shit. What's up, Kat? So it's it was a very interesting case. I actually covered it a lot on the channel I was on previously to starting this one. But yeah, dude, he had like an altar of witchy stuff. And then there was like neighborhood cameras that had been released, like where you could hear gunshots. They still have not found her. Her and his family, his parents, like took custody of the kids, and then her sister had a fight. I mean, her sister is a fucking fighter. Mary Chris, if you guys have ever watched her interviews, she actually does a ton on the interview room. Not everybody has the same taste. But she's a fucking fighter, and she has organized searches for her sister. She has she went to court and fought for the kids because his parents were basically saying that like she just ran off with her boyfriend and just didn't love her kids anymore, and this is kind of shit that his parents were telling the kids. Yeah, just crazy stuff. So I really wish that trial had been streamed, because I would restream it just because it's so crazy. It was during COVID times, and so his two older kids were being homeschooled, and he left the next day and drove like 8 hours with just the youngest kid with no phone, so they couldn't be tracked. Yeah, she was last seen going in the home and never seen again. It's a crank reunion. The band's back together. Boys can't be witches. They're warlocks. But I think he was talking to a witch. I think he had communications with witches. Gemini, what's up? Okay, so kind of an interesting case. Just he was found guilty. That one took forever to go to trial because he had to get new attorneys because he couldn't afford his attorneys anymore. So then they had to get public defenders, and that was just a fucking mess. They still haven't found her, which I think is fucking crazy. But there's stuff that came out at trial. Oh shit. Okay, I'm getting some education right now. Wait, so yes, men are witches? I thought they were warlocks. But maybe I watched too much TV. And that's fair, because I probably did. Warlocks are traitors to their coven. So then, okay, total side quest. So then, can women be warlocks? Forgot about the late night witchery. Yeah. Indiana girl. Now I'm really curious about this side quest. Yeah, there's no telling what he did to her. And he's never going to tell. Yeah, this is my question, Lacey. You're a wizard, Harry. You're a wizard. No, now you're confused. Yeah, so wizard, warlock. I want to know if girls can be warlocks then. Google witches versus warlocks versus wizards. It breaks it down. Okay. You guys don't really understand, but I'm probably gonna do that. I'm gonna totally try to break it down because now I need to know. Because I can't just go throwing out information like that and being inaccurate and being like, boys aren't witches, they're warlocks, and then get schooled by like, no, that's fucking stupid, Teresa. That's not how it is at all. Because I'm uneducated in that department. Am I USA? No, I'm 4th of July. Where's Goose? She was in here earlier. She said hi. Told her to get her ass up here whenever she wants to. What about Q shamans? Oh fuck, dude. Now I have to put that in there too. Okay, let's talk about what's the other case? Let's talk about who still follows the Koberger case? Idaho 4. Oh shit, throwing in the Masons. We're gonna bring me back to the Watts case with that. I'm good. Okay. Oh, you want my water? Okay. So does anybody doesn't do loosely? Okay. Is anybody following that case anymore? I mean, there's like channels that are like fucking dedicated to it. Or shall I have Charlie Kirk on here too? Yeah. Lana's all over the place though. I mean, she covers a shit ton of cases. No, I've not quit vaping. My vape's here. Followed and plan on going to the trial a bit. I'm curious. I plan to watch Koberger as a juror. Okay. So this is what I was wondering, Mav, is from what I'm seeing is that there was a whole bunch of new shit that was released. And I'm wondering from you guys who follow it, still if it's worth like looking at any of the new stuff that was released. Hi, Mother of Dragons. Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't read any of the new stuff that's come out or been released. I mean, I know there's channels that are legit just dedicated to going through it. So I mean, I could probably catch up fairly easy, but I didn't know if any of you guys are following it that think it's worth like going to look at it. I mean, it's a case I covered basically the whole time, so. Once he pled guilty, I haven't paid attention to any of it. I think yeah, that's kind of how I've been. I listened to some of the stuff that came out after he pled guilty with like the like body cameras and like the interviews with the roommates and some of the friends. Like I listened to that kind of stuff, but from my understanding, there's a lot of new documents and stuff that have been released. Blind Hog. Yes. What's up, Post Punk Mama? Yeah, I swear they grant new trials only when they know the person is guilty, just to infuriate everybody. Just not Karen Reed. So over that. We're gonna touch on Karen Reed real quick. Gray Space knows it inside and out. You're talking about Idaho? I listened to you covering it and going through the docs. Okay. Buddha says, I think he probably did it, but shouldn't have pled guilty, but he did, so I don't care about his stuff anymore. Thank you, Post Punk Mama. Okay, so possibly looking. Okay, what did Mav say? There was a cleanup in the living room. Roommates were active all night long. Oh, we already fucking knew that because they're fucking liars. At least 4 different weapons used. Is that Mav? Is that accurate? There's no blood transfer between the bedrooms. Is that somebody's take on it, or is that your take on it? Please tell me that's your take on it, because I'll trust that more than just that's kind of what's. Don't get me started on the roommates. Okay, I fucking love Michelle After Dark. And I'm going to say this for anybody in here who is not subscribed to Michelle After Dark, please go subscribe to her. If the mods can put her channel in the chat, she is legit like at 99.9 thousand or whatever it is. You'll have to go look. Yeah, like to hit like the next thing. Like she's like right there. Like people like her content is just she fucking follows everything and is so detailed about all of her stuff. I can love Michelle After Dark. Yeah, 100K. She's like, that's what I said. She's like literally at 99.9. Like, please go subscribe to her. It's so worth it. It's so worth it. The Koberger still leaves so many questions. I'm unsatisfied with the whole case. There's more to it, I believe, than BK. This is that's interesting, Matt. Plus, she loves dogs. Yeah. He also pled guilty without being tortured for 13 months, so fuck him a little bit. Totally fair. I am of the belief that Bryan Kohberger is definitely the killer. I think what always intrigued me is, yeah, I don't think he's a fucking patsy or anything. I think he's a psychopath. But I've always been intrigued on why certain things happened the way that they did. I really, for Dylan, I really tried to be like, I'm gonna wait for trial and listen to her. And it always kind of reminded me of like Letitia Stout, like her daughter Harley. Like I was always up in the air, like what did she know? What did she not know? How mature was her brain? And so like listening to her testify really kind of helped clarify that for me. And I was really hoping to listen to Dylan testify, because I have so many unanswered questions when it comes to her specifically. Like I just, I don't know if we'll ever have those answers, no matter how many documents come out. But I do think that's worth kind of looking at. All right, I'm gonna mark it down. Let me see. Like I said, some of the first lives when I'm back, it's gonna be me just kind of going through shit that I've missed. So I'm kind of wanting to get your take on what you guys want to listen to, or go through, or walk me through any of it. You know. So I'm very curious on the multiple weapons and no blood transfer, because I always said, people always argued about like the order that the roommates were killed, or that the kids were killed, and it's like you'd know that easily because of the blood transfer. Like one crime scene's not going to have anybody else's blood, and the other crime scene is, or one bedroom versus the other. You know what I mean? So if that's accurate, that really kind of throws me. Hmm. I'm just taking notes. So the shoe print in the hall, I don't know if I don't think they ever actually decided who it belonged to, but I don't think it had anything to do with. Cyree said he wasn't there. I thought Cyree was the one who literally said that he was going by the house at least once a week. And for anybody who's a Delphi follower, let me just tell you that Cyree thinks that Rick Allen is guilty. So, I mean, if that impedes your thought process. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that I read that in one of the recent things. That's why I said I shouldn't speak on it because I don't know for sure. I've not read actual documents. So Cyree, he has a YouTube channel. He's like a phone expert, essentially, forensic phone expert. If you guys want to give more information than that, did we just say Cyree was? I don't know if I've ever said that. I did. I popped into Bob's live, and I think I threw him off track. And Allie was like, "Oh, like, dude, Bob, fucking focus, like, stop." And I was like, "All right, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go." What's that music? What are we talking about? We're talking about all different stuff. We're just talking about different cases, all the shit that's been going on since I've been gone, with different cases, and like what we should go back and kind of look at that we missed, or I missed, and if it's imperative to do it, or if you guys even want it to happen. If he's guilty, why aren't we hearing more confessions and praying for forgiveness? Are you talking about Bryan Kohberger? escape room. Fair enough. Yeah, Muse, we'll talk about that one too. He's on the list. He's on the list. I was kind of going through everything that's kind of already happened and then kind of going to touch on like the ones that are coming up. I really don't have a time limit on this. I was kind of just going to hang out with you guys until you didn't want to fucking hang out with me anymore today. So I'm just kind of taking my time. Who else do I have on here? Oh, Gilgo. Long Island serial killer Lisk. He pled guilty. He got sent away. So we're here forever until the end of time. Pretty much, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of, I just was kind of like, yeah, we'll just do whatever. We're just going to talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's why it's true crime and other bullshit. We'll just do what we want to do. Any thoughts on Lisk? You guys want to share? I mean, we barely even started. We're not even at 3 hours, right? I mean, we've got plenty of time. CH says, for me, I accept his plea. No way it went down as the prosecution put out there. 11 minutes for over 200 stab wounds on 2 floors with 4 people isn't possible, even if you can make an animation of it. You're talking about for Brian Koberger? Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. My air quality? It's hotter than fuck. that's I think the air quality is fine for Southern California. I mean, it's never great. More victims, Belly May? I absolutely think so too. Good riddance to the ogre. I think he's gotten way more victims. Oh, there's always fires though, so yeah, no, we're good. Peace out, ogre. Yeah, I think that that is a story that will continue to unfold. Long Island serial, I think it will continue to unfold. So then, but the big question I think out of the whole thing, and for anybody who has followed the Long Island serial killer case, is who the fuck killed Shannon Gilbert? And I also, that is a great question, Mav. I want to know if him and his brother were killing people down in what I thought it was South Carolina. Isn't that where the car was? Maybe my memory could be bad. It might be Tennessee. All I know is when I experience economic hardship, I definitely don't even consider doing drugs, not even a little bit. No, that's not really for this. Not on my mind. I'm waiting on CODIS to figure out how many more Rex has. Major fires in Canada. Smoke is a big thing across northeast and Michigan and beyond. I don't know. We always have fires here, so it's like not. Kind of just live with it. I think this is why they created the CSI series. They're so brilliant. They're manipulative. S. Hockett, are you talking about Brian Koberger or are you talking about Lisk? Rex Heuermann. What happened to the guy who killed the couple down south at Devil's Den Park or whatever? Is that the one where the random dude just like went up and like stabbed them? Is that one? I'm not sure. I'm not sure I remember. Yeah, classic. That's just kind of how it is here too. Rex. Okay. You think he had an accomplice? What do you think? It's his brother? Austin Drummond. What is that one? Why does that sound familiar? Do I know it? Hold on, I'm going to do a quick little googly search because it sounds really familiar. Oh, is this the one who there was a baby? This is the one with the baby. Hold on. The man accused of killing 4 people and abandoning an infant in West Tennessee last Tuesdays. Now, this is an old article, obviously. Is now in police custody. This is that one. So this is the one where they found the baby in the car seat in the neighbor's front yard or whatever. He like left it there. And it was like 4 members of the same family. Sorry, I'm not reading your guys' comments because I was on a different page. So no, that's not the Devil's Den killer. It's a different one. Let me go back to see your comments. Okay, this case, MJ, is Lindsay Clancy. We'll talk about her in a minute. No, you don't need to calm down. Keep going. Yeah, 4 people killed, I believe. He's saying he was an informant now. Is that what he's saying? Okay. I'm just reading your comments, making sure I didn't miss anything. You're not ignorant at all. Don't even say that. You're not. Please do Drummond. Okay. All right. I got him on the list. The 29-year-old former teacher, the one that's their Devil's Den guy. Yeah, he just randomly went and just killed people at the park. Austin Drummond was an FBI informant. He wanted to be pro se, and the judge is like, no. Okay, so Aaron Spencer, which I think really gained a lot of traction through Bob, or at least for me it did. I froze. My back? Okay. For me it did. Aaron Spencer was the one who shot the predator after he found his daughter with the guy again. And all charges against him have been dropped. And the prosecutor announced that they're not going to proceed with recharging him or trying him on anything. And I think he was running for sheriff. Somebody will correct. Yeah, Spencer for sheriff. Yeah. I want to know where the Devil's Den dude was on 213. Yeah, so I thought that, I mean, that's interesting. I did not think that guy should be tried. Aaron Spencer, I did not think that should even be something that was going to trial. So I was very pleased to see that at least some type of correct justice was done. Okay, who else do we got on here? All right, let's talk about Blaze Taylor, and then we're going to talk about what's coming up. So Blaze Taylor, so I watched this trial. Did you guys watch this trial for Blaze Taylor and the poisoned the pregnant girlfriend who wasn't the girlfriend? So I'm curious. I don't know if anybody watched Blaze Taylor or anybody knows anything about it, because I stumbled upon that just, I don't even know how. It wasn't a case I followed from before. Like I didn't know any of the stuff leading up to it. And I kind of just stumbled upon it. And then I was like, I don't even know what I was watching. I was watching something and I was like, I'm going to go look at this. And then I went and started just watching like specific testimonies. And I was like, okay, this shit's not right. And so then I went back and I started like actually watching the whole trial. And I actually considered restreaming the trial because I think this is a case that you guys would be very interested in listening to. So essentially, Blaze Taylor was a NFL scout for the Tennessee Titans and had hooked up with this chick and gotten her pregnant. And he was like, I don't want a kid, and so on. So I don't want to spoil too much of it, because if we do go into it, I want you guys to be able to watch it, because it's a very interesting case. I found it very interesting. And so supposedly that he was like, yes, yeah, okay. Supposedly he was like, I don't want this kid, like, and she's sleeping with other people and he's sleeping with other people. They call it the poisoned girlfriend trial, but like that was not his girlfriend. They were not exclusive. They were not together. They'd hooked up, obviously, and I think they met at a park and had like a long ass conversation about basically dating each other to see if there was anything there, and then like to work on being able to like learn more about each other and co-parent. But there was supposed to be a paternity test done to determine whether he was even the baby's actual dad. So I said, I think I'm gonna restream this trial, because I think you guys will really like it. What's up, Carrie? So essentially, she's a chef and he's this scout for the Tennessee Titans. His dad is actually like the I love football. I think he's like the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator for like Texas A&M or something like that. Like big football family. And so they have this date night where what's up, Mandy? They have this date night where they're painting like a painting for like the baby's nursery, and her friend comes over and brings a guy with her, and then they leave, and he ends up the guy ends up calling Blaze Taylor ends up calling 911 because she's like convulsing, and but at the same time, that's why I don't want to give too much away. But at the same time, she called the friend that had just left. She called her, wasn't actually talking on the phone to her, but but she's listening to like what's happening. And so you hear testimony from, I'm not going to give it away, because I do think I'm going to restream this trial. It's not super long. I think it's like 5.5, 6 days. And so she ends up dying from cocaine poisoning, from like an overdose, but an amount that the Emmy will say like there's no possible way she snorted it or smoked it, like she had to have ingested it. And so they say like he poisoned her like pink lemonade at dinner that night, and then she died. I don't want to give you too much. So I mean, obviously you guys can look it up. The case is actually over. It just ended a couple of weeks ago. And he was convicted. He was convicted of killing her. And I'm probably going to have a very unpopular opinion, because I But I don't want to tell you. I shouldn't tell you because we'll watch it together. So it was a very interesting case. So if you guys watched it and you're interested in rewatching it with me, like I said, it's obviously done. The outcome's out there. But I don't know. Not convinced. Well, okay, so I'm trying to not give too much away. So the family and friends went back into her apartment and like literally took evidence from the apartment. So like things were never even able to be tested. They were they never found a connection to him buying any drugs. How does she not immediately taste cocaine? Yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, it's okay. They were wearing gloves. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna touch on that anymore because I'm gonna restream that one because I wanted to watch it with you. As soon as I was watching it, I was like, God, I really wish I was watching this trial with you guys because there's just so many things that like I know that you guys would find and point out, and I'd be like, oh, that's true. Okay. So let's see. We touched on Delphi a bit. Obviously, Delphi's it's never over. It's never over for me because, now I'm absolutely convinced that Rick Allen is innocent. So I will do a live at some point, probably next week, to cover the document that I missed. Like I said, you guys probably already all know the info. I don't. I kind of bounced from all that. I know just what's like on Twitter and whatnot. So it's not a mild taste and makes you numb. See, that's up, Tammy. Yeah, I know, Angry Coach. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that you guys will find it interesting. Okay, so I think that covered. Is there any case that concluded while I was gone that I didn't touch on? Not ones that are coming up because I'm going to talk about those next. But I just want to. Is there any case that ended, concluded, trial that you watched, anything that, or like anything from like that side of things? Do you know what I mean? George Pino's trial was surprisingly captivating. The prosecutor was something else. Oh, really? Let me write that up here. Actually, this one needs to go down here. The boat crash. What was the boat crash? Remind me. I almost missed the Pinot trial because he was yapping. Not gonna lie. I kind of like cocaine. Somebody will clip that. That one could. So did he end up taking a plea too? I know that Rebecca Harrow took a plea. Oh, Pino is the boat crash. Dee covered it with cat. Okay. Murder, not the Murdoch boat crash. That's different. Shaboobies! I love yous. Insulin murder mystery. What's that one, Shibby? They do say if you want to kill somebody, just give them too much insulin and they'll just think they were diabetic or. Yeah, so Nolan I'm going to talk about because I know that's more what's happening like a now thing. That's a bukkake. Oh, I guess we should, let's touch on Karen Reed really quick. We'll touch on Karen Reed really quick, just so that case is done. That case is done. She was found not guilty. Obviously, there's a ton of civil suits going on, and then there's all the stuff with Turtle Boy, and that just becomes like a mosh pit of bad behavior on social media. I don't know how much I will. Hold on, dog's coughing. I don't know how much I'll ever go back into that case, for the simple fact that it's for me, that part is done. I think it's more interesting. I'm going to say the right words here. It's more interesting to see the outcome of people like Bukkake and Proctor and what their bullshit police antics have done to other cases. And I know like a lot of information still coming out about that, like on cases that are like, going through right now. I just don't know if I care about the outcome of the civil case. I think that's my issue. I don't know if I care. Like, I don't know. I saw somebody the other day was like streaming like a hearing so she could get her cell phone back. I'm like, really? Like, why do we fucking care about that? I don't know. For me, I just don't. I'm like, there's so much other shit to like talk about. And like I said, I think that with the amount of bullshit that these cops did, and how it impacted other cases, I'm almost at the point where I'd rather cover like the other cases that actually are, have the corruption that's now in them with like all the Proctor tag did. I followed all the Proctor shit that came out, So I don't know. I wish that people who were very focused on the Karen Reed like movement went and just covered those cases instead of like I could give two shits if she gets her fucking cell phone back, and I don't even know why we're arguing about it. Like Sandra Birchmore, yeah. And I don't know the young kid's name. I don't know the young kid's name that the court case is on. You guys are gonna know. That had all the text messages where Proctor's, fucking racist asses out there, posting all that shit. I don't know that kid's name. But like, shouldn't we know that? Like, isn't that more important to know than whether Karen Reed gets her cell phone back or not? I don't know. Like, the phone hearing was good though because of AJ. Well, that's probably why most people actually still want to watch, because he's an amazing attorney, and so that makes it, interesting. And then there's, all the depositions and stuff. I do think that's interesting, and if those actually come to fruition and we can actually get them, I think that would be better. What's up, Heavy? I don't know. I'm just so tired of the Karen Reed stuff, and then just the Turtle Boy stuff. It's like, you don't like him, you don't like him. You like him, you like him, and it's like there's so much on Twitter about it, and it's like I almost like started unfollowing all this kind of crap because, like, I don't know. It's so weird to me to put so much energy into somebody you don't like. Like, how do you constantly tweet about this? It's just not, it's nonstop. It's just exhausting. And I don't care what anybody else's opinion is. I know my opinion is that people wouldn't know about Karen Reed if it wasn't for Turtle Boy. And I don't, whether you like him or not. And there's that. It's just how it is. And so, and I'm going to say that's going to kind of lead me into the same, the same thing with like Nancy Guthrie. Obviously JLR has been around since before I ever even knew that the true crime was on social media the way that it is. He's got a fucked up past, and obviously he's got a fucked up present going on, but there's something about, and him and Turtle Boy don't get along, so that's also an interesting side thing. But there's something about these, I don't know what you want to call them. I mean, I think they kind of just call themselves like a boots on the ground journalist or whatever. you know, there's a money grab that happens with this stuff. We all see it, but we all watch it. So it's like, it's tough because people, somebody's sitting outside of Nancy Guthrie's house and, oh yeah, they know each other. Oh yeah, absolutely. Because JLR thinks Karen Reed is guilty. And so he went to Canton to try to cause a riot. Yeah, so they know each other. They are, but here's the thing: it's like people who are so involved in the conspiracy side of cases, they want to see all the details. They want to talk about all the details, and I don't mean conspiracy in a bad way. I just mean like that you want to. You're so in depth in it. And Nancy Guthrie's one of those cases. Karen Reed's one of those cases. That there's a Delphi wasn't one of those cases as much as people want it to be. It wasn't captivating like that, where people are camping out, to just talk about the case over and over. Do you understand what I mean? So there's a line there that, like, are you watching because this person is a great person? Are you watching because you purely want the information? And if you watch because you want the information, then are you judged because the person's a terrible person? It's like, you don't get the information if you don't have some of these types of people. You just don't. And then it turns into, the war of who's doing it better, and that, people want to call out the fact that it's a money grab. Like, let's be real, it is a money grab. It's all a fucking money grab when you're just staked out there. But I mean, is there a difference between I don't know. I think that there's like a presumption of the fact that people think people on YouTube have to be good people. And I just think that the reality is that's just not true. And if you have a Brian Enton, let's go with Brian Enton, or like Nate. I'm trying to think of other really like boots on the ground journalists who kind of do their own. Do people care more about the reporting, or do you care more about like Brian Enton's personal life or Nate Eaton's personal life? I'm the exception to the rule. T, what do you mean? Tell me what you mean. T, but the bad ones are the ones the judges point to and say, that is why I do not want cameras in the courtroom. No, that's not necessarily true. I mean, sometimes it is, but like, we're going to talk about Tyler Robinson, and we'll talk about exactly what happened and how the cameras were not allowed to show any fucking evidence on the last day of the preliminary hearing. And it was simply a camera situation. Bad cameraman. I'm a good person. I just do bad things. I can't give likes and views to a terrible person. Fair enough. And mainstream media is bullshit propaganda. I think both, because it affects their credibility, I guess. I feel like these guys aren't actually telling the truth. The judges are not fans of social media, no matter who or where it's coming from. Oh, a good. Well, thank you. I do try. Oh, mellow. Yes. Oh, yes, we could touch on that too. If cameras were not allowed, all the corruption in Boston would not have been uncovered. I like Icken too, but he gets tons of shit all the time for whatever was in his past. And I don't even know all that shit. Yeah, I'm not credentialed media. But I just think, like, I don't know. I think that you have to, you take the source, you take the information, and then you just make your decision on what you're going to do with that. I don't need to watch JLR. I don't need to watch Turtle Boy. I can choose to. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not, if I don't like them, I don't have to. So I just don't really understand that part of it. Like, if I want that information or that type of information, I know that there's somebody who can provide it. And I don't necessarily need all their personal life, because I guess for me, it's like, I don't know the other person either. I don't know either side. Like for Turtle Boy with like the ex, and like she's putting out shit, and then he puts out stuff and puts out his story and whatever. I I don't know either of them personally to say like, I believe you more than I believe you. That you both don't have the capability of faking everything that you just put out here, because I don't know you. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't want that information. I want the information based on the case that I'm following. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't think I'm wording it correctly. And sometimes sometimes it's just interesting to watch, but I've never watched JLR for the fact that I already know his past. Like, I don't watch him to go, I'm just going to go on here and troll him because I know about his past. Like, I either want the information he's providing to me in this specific video, or I don't, and I don't watch it. It's like very simple minded. I don't know. Does that make sense? What's up, Ray from Dallas? Yeah, and if like you don't trust their information, you're not counting on it. You're not sourcing it for anything, right? But I think the flip side of that is like, people who are in like that put themselves out there into these types of situations, have an ability to get information that's right there and happening, like firsthand, like you're watching it unfold, versus like me reporting on something, a month later or whatever. I think that there's something valuable to that. And I've noticed that you don't have people who are doing that aren't the most scrupulous people. But we want that, because we want the people who are willing to go there. We want the people who are willing to film. We want the people who weirdly have this ability to just ask fuck anything. They don't even give a shit what it is. Do you see what I mean? Like, we're not doing that. And so we want that kind of reporting, but then it's like, do you care about all the other stuff that goes along with it? I think TB's case is important. The case with against him, not all the civil shit and the side quests. The case against him is important simply because we know of all the corruption that happened there, and I think that's important for journalism, if you will. Yeah, I wish there were better people available to film boots on the ground, but they're usually employed, or they can't. Nobody's paying for them to go fly and go be like boots on the ground. So yeah, I mean, there's a money grab portion to it. Those people that are boots on the ground, people are sending them fucking buco bucks because they're there. So I don't know. I guess for me, like, I don't watch any of those people because like I'm best friends with them. What's up, EW? Okay, so kind of touched on. Okay, I will ask this before I move on. Nancy Guthrie, give me your short version of what you think happened, because it's not a case that I'm planning on following, I guess, or planning on like streaming and diving too hard into. Because I'll tell you my personal opinion. I think she's dead, and I think a lot of what is being put on media is fake, and not necessarily fake from law enforcement. I think it's faked for the purpose of trying to hide the fact that she was dead. So I don't follow it closely because I think she's deceased. See, I don't think she was kidnapped. I think she was killed and then gotten rid of. Yeah, I don't think she's alive. So, but it's one of those cases that at this point to try to go in to it prior to an arrest is just going to be a clusterfuck of people on YouTube that I just don't have time for. I don't want to do that. So, if there's an arrest and like court stuff happens, then I'll change my mind. I think because I do want to know. I definitely think I think she was already dead. I do think she was killed by somebody that knew her. Absolutely. I do think she was killed by somebody that knew her, and I think that everything that you see is all a distraction to try to make it so that that person doesn't get caught. That's my opinion. Could I be right? Maybe. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Why though? I think that there was an argument. I think she was killed. And I think everything else is to cover up the fact that she was killed. And I think because of all this other fake info, and it's not fake, it's real, but it's not accurate. Who do I think did it? I think it was somebody very close to her. I do. I think it was somebody close to her. And I think that all the break-in stuff is to just set it up for a different timeline. So, yeah, that's a great point, Spooky. Incorrectly amplified info might be a better way to put it. Yeah, it's a lot longer than saying fake because it's not fake. It's obviously there. It's obviously happening. But I don't think. Do you think the ransom notes are real or fake? I think that's incorrectly amplified information is what I think of the ransom notes. I think it's all a cover for her death. I don't think she was kidnapped. I don't think there was ransom. I don't believe any of that. Correct, Mav. Absolutely. That's what I think. Okay, Kate. A journey you think, okay, kidnapped for ransom, gone wrong because she died of a heart attack. I just don't. I don't think there's any actual ransom. I think it's all fake. Not fake. What did you say? Amplified information. I think she has a good idea, but she doesn't want to believe it. I mean, I sound like I'm like trying to be like a mind reader. I have no idea. Like that's just I can only tell you what my gut tells me, and that's what my gut tells me. The simplest answer is the most likely is the case here, I believe. Yeah. I think she wonders probably. That's why I'm just my thought. I think that she's got questions, but it's all, I'm just decoding T. It's not my theory. Somebody needs to be able to fucking decode me. So that's my opinion on Nancy Guthrie. If something comes of it and we want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. But as of right now, I'm not going to get into the weeds of that. I don't want to. No matter how many clicks or views or whatever comes, but I just don't want to. That's just my own peace of mind. My theory is I don't have a theory. Clearly it was the church ladies. Obviously. Okay, so I think that covers a lot of cases that are kind of happening. Okay, we can go into okay, well, since we did Nancy, we'll do the up in the air cases. So let's talk the Cider 16. Who's following a massive distraction on purpose? Correct. Don't worry, JLR is on the case. The weeds are where it's at. The Cider 16 out of Ohio. It is the little house that had 16 children from the ages of 1 to 18. Anybody following this case? 4 people were arrested: Gary Sr., Gary Jr., Elizabeth, and they call her something else, but she goes by Lynn, the mom. She actually had 18 kids. 2 passed away. It's so fun to have you back. Cider, as in S-I-D-E-R. Let me pull it up. So this is a case that I'm following and we'll probably be talking about on here. The cops came forward and said they found the 16 children in this small house. They originally said they were found in one room, but it came out later that that's not necessarily true. A few of them were in the room, but the house is covered in just filth and feces and trying to get you one that I'll show you a little bit of everything. The cops came out and said that some of the children were feral. So I've heard there was 18 children. 2 were conjoined twins who died at 24 weeks of pregnancy. And no, not incest. So this is so intriguing, and I'm not going to go too far into it again because this is something I am going to cover on the channel probably this coming week. And so I'll go into like a lot more details then. I have a feral kid. I have 3 of them. But essentially, let me see. Is there a picture on here? Yeah, okay, here. So there's Gary Siders Sr., Gary Siders Jr., Elizabeth Siders, and Christina. Her name's Christina Lynn, and her family calls her Lynn, but the news calls her Christina. So, you know, it is what it is. But this dude here has like a major dementia. But so Elizabeth Siders graduated 8th grade. I think they say it's 8th grade, and she was 15. Gary Siders Jr., they say graduated 9th grade, and when he was 18, they went to a different state and got married at 18 and 15. And then she was already pregnant at the time at 15, and so she's had babies essentially every year since she was 15 years old. I have a list. Let me see. So when the kids were, when the house was actually, as I said, I don't want to go too far into it because I want to be able to talk about other cases on here still too. But essentially, Gary Siders Jr. was doing some indecent exposure stuff multiple times towards the beginning of the year. And yeah, Elizabeth is supposed. Well, I'll clarify all this. So Elizabeth is the one who supposedly birthed all these children. We believe that to be true because there are birth certificates in hospitals for all of these children. Now, because people at first were questioning whether some of the kids actually belonged to Christina Lynn, but I think it was CBS or NBC was one of those actually got all the birth certificates of all the children except for one, but it was a twin. So I mean, they couldn't get that one for some reason. And so yeah, so every year, so when they were found, there's an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 13-year-old, all girls, an 11-year-old boy, 10-year-old girl, 8-year-old girl, 6-year-old boy, 5-year-old girl. Then there's a set of twins. One is a boy. We don't know the other one because that's the one that they couldn't get the other birth certificate for. Another set of twins that died. They were conjoined. She was 24 weeks pregnant. Another set of twins that were so those twins were 4. Another set of twins then she had the 2 that died, and then another set of twins that are 2, a boy and a girl, and then 18-month-old twins, 2 boys. I literally every year just pregnant. Does Thomas here? Did I miss him? Hi, Thomas. Thomas. Yeah, so many kids, and so they're living in this. There's a whole story behind this. So these older children were supposedly in school, and they started getting notifications because the kids weren't showing up at school. It all ended up getting dropped because they couldn't find it. They couldn't find these parents. They couldn't find these kids because they moved. So all 4 of these adults get arrested for basically the squalor that they're living in. Plus, Gary Siders Jr.'s got these indecent exposure things going on. 4 sets of twins. Yes. Yeah, and 1 set died because they were conjoined. So you have, he's in a wheelchair, and he's just like, I mean, I don't even know how it's almost like if people are getting charged, I don't think this guy could be charged. Somebody probably will get charged for abusing him. So he's like off in a hospital. And then this is supposedly mother, father of all of these kids, but they were doing DNA testing to prove who was actually the mother and father of all of these children that were found. And then this is his mother. So let me see if I can play this.
Grainger offers professional-grade products, easy reordering.
Got it. Is Grandpa out on bail, the old guy? I'm feral and possibly rabid. Okay, hold on. Let me turn the volume back on.
For years inside a home in Vinton County, and now is raising questions about
you guys hear that?
How this could go such a long time.
Mike Shell's there and has more.
Authorities say what began as the execution of a search warrant at this home in Hamden, Ohio, quickly became one of the largest child rescue investigations in recent Ohio history. Inside the Hamden home, investigators found 16 children ranging in age from 18 months to 18 years living in squalor. Ohio Attorney General Andy Wilson said what investigators found was, quote, pure evil.
I've just never seen anything like I saw today with respect to those kids.
The 4 defendants, Gary Siders Sr., Gary Siders Jr., Christina Siders, and Elizabeth Siders, have each been charged with multiple felony counts of child endangering.
These kids have been in a position where people they should have been able to trust to take care of them have failed them. Not only failed them, but harmed them. And it's now up to us to stand up for those kids.
Authorities say several of the children were suffering from serious medical conditions, and 2 were flown to level 1 trauma centers for emergency treatment. That was a big concern for neighbor Josh Odell.
Get thought is, what if something had happened to my child or the neighbors, or because at first they was saying it was a sex trafficking thing.
But Vinton County Prosecutor William Archer says that is not what was happening in this house.
This is an intra-family situation. This is not human trafficking. There is nothing to put our other children at risk.
Several neighbors said they had no idea how many people were living in the house.
16 kids. Sure, you're going to see them out sometimes crying and stuff.
I didn't hear a kid scream, didn't hear a kid go down the street riding a bicycle or nothing.
All 4 defendants are each being held on $300,000 cash bond. According to the Attorney General, investigators got to this house and to the kids just in time.
I think if they would have waited another 24 hours, there was a very high probability that we'd be dealing with a death or multiple deaths of these children.
I spoke briefly with the owner of the house who did not want to go on camera. She tells me that she rented the house to Gary Siders Sr. and his wife, Christina Siders, 3.5 years ago, and that Gary Siders Jr. and his wife, Elizabeth Siders, and her 16 children were not supposed to be living here. The Vinton County prosecutor said the children are safe and, in his words, are in good situation and are being protected.
Okay, so essentially, first I want to say hi to Missy. Missy, I have missed you so much. Thank you for coming in and saying hi. Missed you. It's been years. It's been way too long. So at first, in the very first presser, they come out and they say these children, all these 16 children were locked in this one little room. We'll come to find out that's not necessarily the case. Michelle After Dark is covering this really well. So once again, make sure you guys are subscribed to her. We need to get her to 100,000. And it's totally worth it because she's one of the best out there. But the older children, it come to find out they were not all like, nobody's locked in there. They're all free to essentially come and go. But they're very, very poor. There's no food. It is filthy. Obviously, there's not anywhere for children to be living. It's a lot of people are comparing it to, do you guys remember like the Turpins, who like locked all their kids up and like the one daughter escaped? You guys remember they had like all kinds of kids. They would take them out on outings to Disneyland and they'd have like wear like all matching outfits, but then they'd take them home and like lock them and chain them up. So people are comparing it to that, and I'm not there. I do not think that that's what this is. I think you're talking about very poor and very uneducated, and a system that is obviously, we can talk about child protective services forever on this channel, and we know how broken that fucking system is. But the older, so they say the 18-year-old doesn't know how to spell her name. Okay, so it's mind-boggling to me because they also say that all the older children all had social media. So if the older children have social media, how are we saying the girl doesn't know how to spell her name? So I'm kind of confused on that. Like, I feel like there's something wrong there. But so they come to find out there are children who are basically in this room, and the smaller children are very ill. They're not being fed. They're very malnourished. Obviously living in filth. But I don't think it's a case of they're like locking the children in a bedroom at this point. I'm not there. The other thing is that she goes to the hospital and gives birth to all of these children. She goes to hospitals. So she's not like having these kids at home and hiding them. Like they all have birth certificates. So if these people are so dirty, so filthy, so smelly, that because they're living in this, filth, how are we going to a hospital and nobody's saying, like, what is going on here? Like, we need to like figure this out, like we need to follow up, like we need to send child protective services. This chick's been in here in the last 3 years. She stinks. She's obviously not taking care of herself. And she's had 3 sets of twins in 4 years. Actually, 4 sets of twins, because she's going to the same hospitals. I mean, it is multiple hospitals because there's so many births from where they lived, but she's giving birth in the same hospitals repeatedly. So there's not 100% certainty, Lacey, on why the cops actually went in. It is rumored they went in simply because of Gary Siders Jr. having some indecent exposure charges like 4 times in like 1 month. Yeah, she's a frequent flyer for the maternity ward. Like, how does nobody know this? I'm curious what's going to happen because legally I don't know how they're arresting Gary Siders Sr. That dude is not that dude is not competent to do fucking anything. If anything, there's going to be elder abuse charges against the other ones who should be taking care of him. There is a rumor that she is currently pregnant. I don't know how true that is, but there is a rumor that she is currently pregnant with another child. The mom, like Christina Lynn, has been going to like churches and getting like basically like what do you call them, like food banks at churches to get food. I don't know. Yeah, peeing outside is indecent exposure and can put you on the sex registry list. So, guys, be careful. So anyway, it's a very interesting case. I'm curious legally how this is going to go. I personally think it's very different than like some of these other cases like the Turpins where they were like holding these kids hostage and tying them up. So just something I definitely want to follow and see where it goes, because I mean, shit. They only moved in with the grandparents last year. That's also when the older kids stopped posting on social media. Right. And they did have somewhat of an education. So like saying like the older girl can't write her own name, she was one of them that was in school and was getting the deterrence for not showing up. The Turpins were fucking weirdos. Absolutely. I just don't, the highest level of education in this house is 9th grade. One of the news outlets found that in this state that they went and got married, that there was other people in this family, like Gary Siders Sr., his cousin was 58 and married, like, don't quote me on the age, like a 20-year-old. Or like someone's like super young, like weird age difference marriages, other people who were underage getting married. Did they move out to avoid being found? Possible. They also, is it possible that like she's popping out all these twins, like they just can't afford to live anywhere else? So like it is like a choice of, we've got to move back in with your parents. I think she was younger than 20. That's why I said don't quote me on the age, because I don't remember exactly. Yeah, there's only one bathroom, and apparently the bathroom is not in order. You know what, Amanda? I don't know. I have no idea. Ohio? Is it? Anybody from Ohio? You guys tell me. Well, they weren't going to school. Nobody was going to school anymore. But how weird is it that, like, I know the neighbors, there's another news clip that shows, like, the neighbors aren't super close. So, like, you wouldn't necessarily, like, know or not know that they're, like, where kids are not, like, it's, I mean, it is rural. They're not super far away. Oh, Chelsea, there you go. Abortion is legal. I don't know. I'm sure condoms are fucking available, but, you know, hey. Miku's headphones in here? What? Why does YouTube hate me? I don't hate you. I don't know. I don't know if they did or did not. I know that it was, whatever they did have was not super functioning. So anyway, so that's a case that I was kind of paying attention to. She wanted all of her kids, maybe religious thinking. There's an AC in the window. Yeah, there is right there. Julie, I don't know what that is too. I've talked about so many things. I don't know what that's to. I need more specifics. Yeah, I'm waiting to see what happens in court too. That's why I think this is going to be interesting, and I think that I don't think they're getting food stamps. I just think it's going to be interesting how it plays out, because I don't think it's going to be I don't think the punishment's necessarily going to fit the crime that they're trying to say for these people. I think that this could very well just be proof of an absolutely failed system. Yeah, so so supposedly I believe it was two of the younger children were airlifted out of there, and then another two of them were like brought immediately to the hospital. And like the initial comment from law enforcement in the press conference was something along the lines of like they would have been, one of these kids would have been dead had we not shown up when we did. I don't know. Maybe that's accurate. I have no clue. That's why I want to find out. I want to see. Cryptex, what's up? All of them were taken to the hospital, but the 3-year-old twins were in ICU. But I know that some of them got airlifted and some were just taken to the hospital. So I just don't remember which ones were which. Okay, let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. Oh, it's way too big. Shrink me back down. The 1.5-year-old twins were the flight lift. Okay, so next one, let's talk about. And we'll just touch on some of the trials that are coming up. Should we just we'll touch on, because I think the next one's probably the bigger one. Somebody asked in chat about Monique and Spencer Tepe, also out of Ohio. Not much movement is happening on that with her ex that came in from Illinois and killed them both. That was the dentist. You guys remember? We covered that. Nothing's really going on with that currently, but I mean, obviously it's still pending. Lindsay Clancy, we talked a bit about her earlier. She's the mom who had postpartum psychosis, or claims to have had postpartum psychosis. She was diagnosed, but so this is kind of a hard one for a lot of people, because she killed her 3 young children, essentially setting up the fact that, like, to get her husband to stay away long enough for her to be able to accomplish this. She planned it ahead of time. She's been basically in a psych ward for the majority of her holding time before trial. The jury is being picked, I believe, starts Monday. It's like 2 days from now. And her defense is that she had reached out for help multiple times. She'd gone to different doctors. They kept prescribing her medications, and it was making her worse, essentially. But like, they knew that she was suffering from postpartum psychosis, and so that's her defense. It's going to be a very hard one. It's going to be very hard for people to watch that one, in my opinion, because there's going to be 2 very, very clear sides: people who are compassionate towards the psychosis, to the postpartum psychosis diagnosis, and then those people who are just like, doesn't really fucking matter, you killed your kids and it was premeditated. Defense Diaries did do like a recap on the entire thing, essentially. I think it was like a 2.5-hour video. So you guys can watch Bob on that one. I don't know. I obviously will follow it. I don't know how much I can stomach of it, because I want to have empathy, but it's very hard. Very hard. It's very hard to have empathy towards somebody who premeditates the murder of their own 3 children. So that, but for anybody who's interested, that trial does start jury selection on Monday. Okay, so, and I do believe Bob's going to be streaming it. I don't know if Andrea is. It's going to be a hard case to watch. You can't conflate the planning time with the killing. The mental health doesn't make you unintelligent, unable to plan. I know, Susie. I know. I just, like I said, I'm going to have a hard time having empathy towards somebody who did that. And obviously I've never had postpartum psychosis or been diagnosed even with postpartum depression, but I still just don't know how much I can look at another mother and say, and here's the crazy part is her husband is actually going to testify on her behalf on the fact that she has been, for years, had been trying, not years, but for years he's supported her, that she had tried to get help for what they knew was wrong. Yet he left her home with the kids. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. But it was like Yates, where she thought they were better off in heaven, as diluted as that is. That's what she thought. Right. I'm a to each your own. I think that case is going to be very much based on your own personality, because there's no disputing the fact that she did it. Now it's going to be, does this person require help, or does she just need to go to prison because she's a psychopath and is good at manipulating the system into thinking that she has some type of postpartum. You got it, Julie. So that's why there's going to be a lot of controversy, and it's going to be about mental health. And I don't know if anybody is right. I don't know if anybody's right, and I don't know if anybody's wrong. Because it's all different perspectives on how you feel and view mental health. Correct. They are very different. Absolutely very different. But I'm just saying I've never been diagnosed with any of those. So I don't want to speak on them. You know what I mean? Oh, you know what? Total side quest, and I apologize, you guys, but there's something like with YouTube, StreamYard, I think it's just YouTube, and maybe other creators that are in here might be able to help me with this, but the way that you like set up the stream now is it's like talking about, like on a live stream, about monetizing it. Like if you guys are going to get ads like during the live, I tried to make it so you guys don't have ads during the live, because I don't like that. I don't like that for like when I watch stuff, even though I have premium for now. But so I don't know if that's happening. I need somebody like to like let me know, or like maybe another creator can like help me figure out how to fix that. So just a heads up, I've gotten ads you have gotten ads this whole time. You do keep getting ads. Okay. I got to figure out how to fix that. I do not want that. I don't want that for you guys. So I've got to figure that out. And like I said, maybe another creator who can help me figure out how to, because the way that you set up the monetization of a video is different. So it used to be like you just click like monetize the video, and then if you're not a premium member and you come in, you would like watch an ad when you show up, and then you'd not see any other ads the entire time. And then premium, obviously you guys don't have ads at all. So but now the way they have it, and it's like you have to check all these different things, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm even looking at here. And I do use StreamYard, but I don't monetize on StreamYard. I monetize on YouTube. Does that make sense? Okay, so I will have to figure out how to fix that, because I don't want lives to have ads. I mean, I'm fine like when you pop in and it has an ad, like it's like when you very first come in, but I don't want you guys having ads the entire time, like when I'm talking. Like that's fucking ridiculous. So I just don't know how to fix it yet. So please bear with me on that. I totally meant to bring that up at the beginning and I forgot. Okay. All right, let's see. Shannon Gardner. Let's talk about Shannon Gardner. Anybody following that? She's going to trial, and her estranged husband is going to trial. It's the default choices and manage video settings on left. Okay, I will look, Shibby. Thank you. So she and her husband are accused of, I'm taking a picture of Shibby's comment so I don't lose it. I'm going to figure out how to fix that. Yeah, you guys, I'm very sorry that you guys are having ads all the way through. I did not do that intentionally. And so I will take care of that. But so Shayna Gardner and her husband are accused of killing Shayna Gardner's ex-husband, Jared. This is a case out of Florida. So Florida is always interesting too because of the way that they like release information. Like if they feel like it doesn't matter for the jury to be the only people that see it, they'll just like put out a ton of shit beforehand. So both of them are going to trial this month, or August, not this month, August. We're not there yet. Both of them are going to trial in August. He's going first, and it's like set for like 2 weeks, and then she's going. So I was curious for you guys that are following that case, like, what do you think of that? Like the fact that he's going to trial first. And now what is that going to do to a jury pool for her? Because they're going to need like 500 potential jurors. Okay, I'm going to pull this up so you guys can see it. I know if you don't know the case, for just because you're a true crime follower, I swear to God, you're gonna like recognize it. You'll recognize it as soon as like I pull it up, like the people. So this happened in August of 2023. She was supposed to be a trial last year, and we were gonna follow it, but then the trial got pushed. So I don't understand how he's gonna go to trial first, and they're not gonna just completely taint the entire jury pool. Oh yeah, she did. She had Jose Baez. Hold on, why is that not coming out? You guys all know Jose Baez from Casey Anthony trial. I don't know why that's not letting me do it. What's up, Andrew? Yeah, Baez. Yeah, that's her attorney. I don't think. No, he's still the attorney. Well, I'll double check unless something's happened that I'm not aware of. Stomach's growling. He was Aaron Hernandez's attorney for the appeal. No, I don't think he was his actual attorney for trial. Maybe I could be remembering that wrong though. I don't want to spam. Okay, hold on. Oh, okay. They're picking both juries at the same time. Then her jury is just, I don't know, waiting until his jury comes back. Oh, interesting. Is Keith here? Hi, Keith. Okay, hold on. Okay, that's good news. That makes me happier. Hold on. I think I missed one of your comments. Oh, Mav, that is such a good trial. Oh, shit. Such a good trial. Okay, so then the black guy they randomly arrested and did so much illegal shit to and forced him into a plea, but took back the agreed terms, goes to trial in January, I think. Oh, really? Okay. They really are. I mean, they really are. Yeah, I will fix it. Okay, hold on. Let me show you. I think you'll absolutely probably recognize her. But you'll probably, from just like following like true crime news and stuff, you probably recognize Jared, her ex. Oh, it was 2022. I apologize. I thought it was 2023. Okay, so the ex-wife of Jared, the Florida Microsoft executive, fatally shot in front of his 2-year-old daughter in 2022, has been indicted on first-degree murder charge. Obviously, this is a very old article. Shana Gardner Fernandez was arrested in Eastern Washington. You guys don't recognize him? Oh man, it was such a big thing, just all over like regular news. But this is a case that I want to follow, so you guys let me know if that's something that you're interested in. Never heard of this case? Okay. Yes, okay. So he was shot multiple times at close range on February 16th of 2022 after he stepped out of his black Volkswagen Atlas to remove a discarded tire lying in the middle of a Jacksonville Beach road, which they believe is all just a setup. In January, authorities arrested Henry Tenen, who is 61, in connection with the 33-year-old father of Forrest Slaying. He was charged with conspiracy to commit murder, second-degree murder, with a weapon and accessory after the fact to a capital felony and child abuse. Authorities never believe he acted alone. So this is her current estranged husband. This is Henry Tenen that Miku's headphones was just talking about. So investigation is so bad. Yeah. So okay. So you guys are in for this one because I want to do this one way more than I want to do Lindsay Clancy. So they were in a custody battle, and she just didn't want him around anymore, and so she got, yeah, it is kind of like an Adelson vibe. Yeah. So she got multiple people to help her basically get rid of him. Labyrinths! What do you mean you bailed? Where'd you go? What does that mean? You're not bailing. You can't leave us. Stamp it up. Yeah, this is the Microsoft exec murder for hire case. Oh, Labyrinths. Dang you. Sorry. I know. A lot of people did. Okay, so that we'll look at this one. I'll do like a whole background thing for you guys. So we can do like one live with just all the info like we normally do. Okay, we'll go to the next one. We'll go to the next one. You guys all know this one. You have to. I think everybody does, right? Courtney Clenny. Let me get rid of that. So her trial's coming up. Also in August. There's a lot in August, you guys. There's a shit ton in August. Yeah, she has a 2-day hearing coming up on July 30th and the 31st. To go over all like the out. Am I frozen again? Damn it. I'm gonna take myself off the screen. Sometimes that helps with streaming. This is the OnlyFans murder. She was an OnlyFans model and said that she was defending herself when she killed her boyfriend. Christian, I always say his last name wrong, so I apologize, and you guys can totally correct me, but his name is Christian Obumseli. I'm never going to say it right, and I will always probably screw it up, so I apologize for that. And then they got there, and then they let her go, and then she was like being harassed at the apartment complex. And then they arrested her. And then they arrested her parents for tampering with evidence. So her trial's been pushed out like I know, see, I can't, it's one of those words that just gets stuck on my tongue. Yeah, so then they pushed her trial out repeatedly, and I'm sure she's still probably trying to get it pushed out even further. So Courtney Clennon, yeah, hers is coming up in August. She has a 2-day hearing coming up at the end of this month. They did so the parents took the computer. I think that cops obviously got it back now, but parents took the computer, his computer, and like tried to break into it to see like what was on there. Oh, stupid thing. Gardner over this one. Okay. They had a very toxic relationship. So, but most of what we've been told, yeah, the middle or G, most of what we've been told was that she was the one who was very abusive. There's been, once again, another Florida case. So Florida, again, they are very keen on evidence in cases can be released to the public as if they don't believe it's going to matter. So like they're not like worried about like jury tainting at all, really. They're just like, yeah, go ahead and put this out. So there's been videos of her basically just beating the shit out of him in elevators. She ended up stabbing him, and then he died, and she was just covered in blood, like in the hallway of the apartment building when they called. But there was multiple reports of like noise disturbances from them fighting. Yeah, yay, Florida. So this case will be very popular all over YouTube. People have been waiting years for her. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if she's still even trying to push it out in her hearings on July. Oh yeah, we don't know if it was a stabbing because she says she threw it and it happened to hit him. Take away the stabbing and she sounds like my kind of girl. Fucking mad. Toxic. Yeah, just a toxic relationship that ended up with one of them dead. Tammy! Yeah, I'm definitely shit is circling on my computer, so I don't know. Kids are probably, it's summer vacation. They're probably all in there streaming different things using up my Wi-Fi. So, I don't know. I mean, that's a case I've followed since it happened. So I don't know timing wise, because I would prefer to watch the Gardner trial, but the trial for that is actually because her ex is going on first. Her trial isn't, jury selection is at the end of August, and then her actual trial will be at the beginning of September. Oh, I can't get rid of this freaking video. Get off of here. Susie, thank you. bringing them all back to the fold. So the other trial we have coming up in August, and she just had a hearing. So we've covered this case a couple of times, for Sarah Grace Patrick. If you guys remember, she's accused of killing her mom and her stepdad, and her trial was set for August. Her now new defense team requested for that to be pushed back, and it was just denied. Like I think like last week. So we have some other coverage of that case. If you guys aren't familiar with Sarah Grace Patrick, we do have a couple videos of that. And so judge says nope. You guys remember he's the judge with the Elvis sideburns. Yeah, did not give her a continuance, which I don't even know why she'd want one, but whatever. There's always that catch-22 on why give the prosecutors more time? They don't have the murder weapon. They don't know where the murder weapon is. So like, why would you want to give them more time to go find the murder weapon? You know what I mean? Like fucking, I'm all about like just get in there. You ain't got shit. Your stuff isn't even done yet. You haven't even processed that cell phone. You know what I mean? Like, he's the judge that looks like a less handsome version of you. Yeah, they did. They pulled an Oberg last minute. What did Miko say? She's in isolation in an adult prison. Yeah. Yeah, Sarah, she is. And I don't know why you would even want to postpone at all. I don't give a shit. I know that her defense team's like looking for reasons. So they're saying that what they just found out, and it wasn't due to the prosecutor holding information. It was brand new information released to the prosecutor too. Was that these cops like found these guns at pawn shops because they had a gut feeling to go look at the pawn shop, and so they got these guns from pawn shops and were like testing them to see if they matched the murder weapon, but never bothered to tell anybody that they were doing this. So like the prosecutor didn't even know that there was a potential that they had like these other suspects with other weapons that they thought might be actually the perpetrator. So they don't have the murder weapon. So anyway, her trial is going forward on August 3rd, and I will be streaming that. So just a heads up there. And I may, because the hearing was it was pretty recent. It was either last week or the week before. My timelines are kind of off in my brain. I may this week as a live do a one just to watch that hearing, so everybody's kind of caught up on the new info with the new defense attorneys. So I'll probably do that this week too. Like this, I'm kind of writing all this stuff down so I know what we're talking about. Let me see. Oh, other big trial. I don't think it's been postponed as of last I checked. Is Tupac. Conspiracy to kill Tupac. I'm going to leave you guys alone for just a second. Please behave yourselves. I have to use the restroom. Give me 1 minute. I wish I had like a intermission video, but I don't. Thomas, you remember a trial with an angry hot dog? We don't have a flamingo emoji? We need a flamingo emoji? We don't need to see Brad's grinder pick. Don't worry, I'm gonna put together a little something so that we do so that I can have a little intermission video for you guys that just plays when I have to go pee. Okay, where was I? What were we talking about? What case did we just bring up? Oh, yeah, let me see when his trial is. Hold on. I think it's the 10th of August. It's another August trial, and I don't think it's been pushed back. So it's, you know, Dwayne Davis, conspiracy to kill Tupac. His trial is supposed to be August 10th. I don't know how this guy hasn't taken a fucking plea, but it is what it is. I think everybody in chat probably knows that. Justice for Pac. So yeah, so as of right now, his is August 10th. So that's why I said August for trial watchers. You guys, I mean, August is like fucking on fire because you've got Sarah Grace Patrick, Mr. Shayna Gardner, and then Shayna Gardner at the end. You've got Courtney Clenny. You've got Lindsay Clancy, Dwayne Davis. Why are they all in August? I have no idea. Anyway, there's still chances that obviously some of these can get pushed out. You never know. They always try the last minute. You know, we need more time. Okay, so I think that was all with the trials. Let me just double check my list. Is there another trial you guys know of that I missed? Before I go into Tyler Robinson and Charlie Kirk. He already didn't. He denied it. He said no. Seb. Yeah, he said no. He said we're proceeding as scheduled on August 3rd. Yeah, I can go in there, Indiana Girl, and get it all cleaned up and put in what we're doing in. Yeah, locked in for August. You guys have plans in August? You should fucking cancel. None of us will touch grass in August. No, not at all. I don't know. Are you talking about Adelson? Because I just don't think I'm at the point where I don't think they're going to charge her. I just don't feel like they're going to do anything to her. I think she's going to get away with it, and her punishment is going to have to be the fact that her family is all in prison for her wanting to kill her husband. Hold on, I'm looking something up. When is his trial? When is Brad Simpson's trial? Does anybody know? It was supposed to be now, but now it's in October. Next fucking August. Hold on, let me go back. Why is it not showing up? Okay, AI says there's no official trial date as of 5 days ago for Brad Simpson. and the disappearance of his wife, Suzanne. So speaking of next August, I don't know if you guys saw that another case that's very like near and dear to me is Barry Morphew, Suzanne Morphew. He got pushed to August of 2027. His fucking trial did. Hold on. That's all cases 8/12. Trial date. Brad Simpson. Okay, 8/31/2026 is a status conference. Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing a trial date for Brad Simpson, but Barry Morphew, his trial got pushed out to end of July, beginning of August of 2027. Barry's so fucking guilty. So obviously, we'll cover whatever we can of that. There were some documents that came out. Actually, I'm going to mark that down too. There were some documents that came out about him and his escapades in Arizona. So I'll put him on the list. He's on the list. Yeah, but Brad Simpson, I don't know. Oh, you know what the other case was that I wanted to talk about that I didn't put on my list? Let me see. What's the freaking dude's name? Hold on. I think I'm frozen. Can you guys hear me? Just let me know you can hear me. Yeah, okay, good. It's the hookers. The freaking hooker who his wife like disappeared in the Bahamas. I think it's Brian Hooker. Yeah, ears perked up. Yeah, his name's Brian Hooker, and he said that him and his wife were, doing this sailing around, and they were like docked, and then they went to go take their little dinghy back to the sailboat, and that she fell off, and that he ended up, trying to search for her, and he couldn't find her, but like people are like, no, like he fucking killed her and dumped her out there. The boat case, yeah. The hooker. You guys know who I'm talking about? Hookers is no longer stuff. They're called sex workers now. I have to be politically correct. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think we need to look at that one. Yeah, if they can prove that he harmed her, then it'll be interesting. But if he didn't look up how to off her, then it's really not certain. True. Yeah, no, he's not arrested for anything, and they let him go. I mean, he got detained, got an attorney, and they let him go, and he come back to the States. He says he's not going to ever leave the Bahamas until he can find his wife because he's devastated. But I did hear, I don't know how many of you guys follow this case, but I did hear a recorded call between him and his friend that people were like, that shit's sus. And I was like, ooh, I want to listen to that again. Yeah. Hooker's my dad's last name. My mom always threatened to name me. No way. The boat is called Soulmate. You just want to see all my hooker jokes. You know I do. That would have been so bad if your mom named you Ima. Okay, so let's talk about the two big ones that I have been following lately. So we'll talk about Tyler Robinson and Charlie Kirk first. And this is not something I'm going to cover on the channel, but may just kind of talk about every once in a while, because talking about cases like this just brings so much political nightmare to anything. But I am very curious. On what you guys think about Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson. Do you guys think that he did it? They had the preliminary hearing. It was like 5 days long. I watched it on Andrea Burkhardt's channel with her commentary, and then she did recaps every night. So if you didn't watch it, she did great recaps every night of every day of the hearing also. And you do get to see the cats, so that's always a plus. Yeah, the chat goes insane. Oh, there's absolutely a question that he didn't do it. There's a huge comparison from Tyler Robinson to Lee Harvey Oswald. And yes, you have. Sharon, you were there lurking. There are many, many people who do not think he's guilty. Candace Owens, I don't know, dude. So if you guys are familiar with Candace Owens, I don't know what network was she on before? I don't remember. She was a news anchor, like an Angelette Levy kind of thing, and then more like investigative journalist. But there is a ton of people who absolutely believe that Tyler Robinson is being set up. You could go down major conspiracy rabbit holes of that it's his bodyguard team, to that it was his wife, that it is Tyler Robinson's roommate / lover, who was transitioning from Lance to Luna. I mean, there's massive amounts of theories that that was Israel planned it. Yeah, I mean, if you like a good political conspiracy, that's absolutely a case for you. And I mean, I never really thought much about Charlie Kirk's wife. You know, she was just kind of always just like a side thing, you know. And then, I mean, she's obviously come out in front of the whole world now as the CEO, and her videos are fucking questionable all in themselves. So I mean that's fucking weird. And I don't know if many people even pay attention to it because of the fact that, I mean, Charlie Kirk was very charismatic in his own right. Again, not everybody agreed with him. Not everybody, you know, appreciated anything he had to say, but people would watch, people would listen. She's just, I mean, she's got some weird eye things she does. I have to turn my camera on for that, I think. She does this whole like, I don't know, like, what are you doing? Stop doing that with your eyeballs. Charlie Kirk was extremely controversial when he was alive. Absolutely. Dude, if you guys have watched her, you know she does that with her eyes. It's fucking weird. And then then she does this like weird heavy breathing thing into the microphone. I don't know if you guys watch. Yeah, that's like a whole. It's just. I mean, I think people can build an entire channel just off of that case in itself, or just like the conspiracy side of politics. I think that there probably are channels like that. I can't go into the politics side of things like that. It just gives me a fucking headache. Probably why I avoid all the drama on there. It's just too much. But there is major evidence supporting that this guy is involved and is the shooter. So I'm curious to know, what do you guys think? Like, it's gonna make an EK meme channel. . It would probably thrive. She shares her eyeliner with JD Vance. So interesting enough that Donald Trump Jr. and his wife were at least the first day of the preliminary hearing, sitting in the front row. And I said I was going to bring this up when we talked about it because of cameras in the courtroom. So the court TV cameraman was like, they were directing like what can be shown to just the witness and the attorneys, what can be shown to the public, versus like what can just be shown to the courtroom. So because they had so many rules on like what was being shown and how it was being shown, I think it was very confusing for the cameraman just in general, because he's like trying to go from like showing the witness to showing the big TV screen, and he's just going back and forth and he's missing stuff. And then he swings over and there's a note that was left by Tyler Robinson, allegedly, under a keyboard that he left for his roommate / lover, Lance Luna, that Lance Luna took a picture of with his cell phone. And they did not want that shown to the public, but it was allowed to be shown to the witness and to the courtroom. And the cameraman panned over and he showed it. And then by the last day of the preliminary hearing, like everybody was up in arms about the fact that this was shown to the public, even though so much of this stuff that they wouldn't show to the public in the preliminary hearing has already been put out in the public long before. So I mean, it really doesn't matter that much. But so then the last witness on the last day, we were not allowed to see any exhibits. The public was not allowed to see any exhibits of what she was looking at. So, and then there are people who have looked at the video. So Lance Twiggs, which is Lance Luna, does not come to court to testify. They have him do a recorded testimony, and then they play it at the preliminary hearing. And there are people who said like the whole thing's fake. It's all AI. Classic overthinker. No, I have not. Yeah, Kat, you know what? It was actually very interesting. I found that the Kat says the family of victims' rights in the criminal proceeding is wild in Utah. The family has so many more rights there than I've seen probably anywhere else, really. You know, they had their own attorney there who was like doing arguments and stuff, and I thought like they're actually getting more than other victims' families ever do. Like they're being treated like they're part of these proceedings, which is, as you know, I don't believe to be accurate, because trials are not for victims' families. They're just not. That's not how it was designed. They're for the defendant, and to make sure the defendant's rights are protected, and that the state is held accountable, that they actually have the evidence to, proceed to trial, or at trial to a jury. So no, it was very interesting on how much they were able to actually win in their arguments in front of that judge because of Utah. I've not heard that he was a furry. I just know that I was under the impression he was transitioning. That's what I have read, and that's what I have heard. That he was transitioning from male to female. That's a great question too. Yeah, we have a right to a speedy trial. No, you don't. No, the DB. Yeah, the defendant has the right to a speedy trial, which I think that defense attorneys talk defendants out of speedy trials all the time, and I think it's crazy because, like I said earlier, I think that you should just fucking go for it. So anyway, like I said, I mean, it's not something that I'm going to like dive into and cover and go into all the conspiracies, but it is something that I'll probably talk about. I do find it very interesting, and I will watch it. Like I watched all the days of the preliminary hearing, and I did go down the rabbit holes to see why people think the way they do. I am more, what was that dude's name? Oh my God, why can I never remember his name? The dude that took the shot at Trump and they shot him on the spot. Why can't I never remember his fucking name? You guys know who I'm talking about. The long-haired kid. His photos were released. That's like way more of a conspiracy in my mind than this one. Crooks. Yes, Thomas Crooks or something like that. Hold on real quick. Yeah, Crooks is the one that I'm like, I think there's way more to that. Like if I was gonna go with like Patsy to conspiracy involving like CIA, that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think I'd probably go down that rabbit hole before I'd go down this one. But that's me. I feel like there's a lot of fucking evidence against this guy. I mean, they in the preliminary hearing, one thing I thought was very interesting was that they did not bring out the phone records. They did not bring out the phone records. So like we have these conversations, and then as soon as they're able to like corroborate the like exact location of where these messages are coming from, I'm of the opinion that Tyler Robinson will take a plea deal. That's my opinion. I think that he's guilty, and I think he'll take a plea deal. And I think I do. I don't think that he'll ever go. I don't think he'll go to court. So there's just so much evidence against this guy. But I don't know. I think if somebody really wanted to go down a conspiracy, I think you could look at Crooks and say, like, wait, what was that about? Why did this dude just get killed right there? Why is there like footage of him like outside of a CIA office? Why, when they raided his house, like, does this dude like not have any fucking silverware? Like, I don't know. I think I could go hours down that one. Just my thought. Tucker Carlson up for left wing for a left wing terrorist. This is too much for me. Okay, so again, like I said, very interesting, and I will follow it, and we'll probably talk about it throughout time. But I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it. I think the last case that I want to talk about, I don't know if it's the last case, but the last one I have on my list to talk about, so we can talk about other ones too, is Nolan Wells. So first things first, though, like how many people in here are following it's not a case, it's not a disappearance because he's been found, but Nolan Wells went missing on 4th of July, black kid, Mississippi. You guys on that one at all? Hold on, I don't want that. I want this on. I'll bring up some info. Went out on a boat to still no preliminary results. Yeah. Went out on a boat to Horn Island for 4th of July to celebrate with his friends. And yeah, it's considered a death investigation. We talked about Zach Adams a little bit ago. How fucked that is. Hold on, I'm trying to share my screen with you guys. So I've been like deep in this Nolan Wells stuff. Yeah, DB. Yeah, you saw that, right? That yeah, Zach Adams, no new trial for Zach Adams. Spooky says, I understand why the parents want a fair, independent investigation, and people are turning that into them making it about race, and it's not. Unfortunately, having their spokesperson be, a civil rights activist doesn't bode well for that narrative. I mean, it just makes it that's what they are turning it into. They are turning it into a race thing. The same shit happened, even though it wasn't white on black. Same shit happened. I don't know if you guys remember the case Malia Davis. You have these certain personalities that, that's what they're really known for, is kind of getting involved in high profile black versus white, like Quan LX. And I don't see this being about race. And I do believe it was Nolan's parents, if memory serves, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, that is, that went on and did like a Facebook Live or an Instagram Live or something along those lines, stating we don't want this to be about race. But the type of people you're bringing into your atmosphere. Al Sharpton was speaking at a press conference with them. What's up, Mino Dino? Have a good night. I don't think you can have a Ben Crum and a Al Sharpton, and now you have the former quarterback who knelt during the national anthem is paying for the independent autopsy. You've got Tyler Perry, who's paying for the funeral. Yeah, barely. He is still alive, but yeah, barely. So I'm just saying, you can't say we don't want it to be about race, and then Kaepernick. Yes, that fucking guy, Colin Kaepernick. All of it. And then say we don't want this to be about race, because everybody who's representing you, they're known based on this civil rights activism. And if it's not about that, then I don't really understand it, I guess. It is about race then, to somebody. And I don't know if it's more of a... And I'm not from Mississippi, so people from Mississippi will have a totally different opinion. I'm not from there, nor have I vacationed there. If it's more of a generational thing, the generation of law enforcement that's there needs to be put in place because of the racial differences, versus it actually being about the kids, because there's 100 people that go out and visit this Horn Island. They're black, they're white, they're everything. Right, because that's what I'm saying too. That makes more sense to me, but I don't know if that's even necessarily fair. That he said just assume that he won't, unless there's some type of and I haven't looked at that law enforcement agency, so maybe this is it. There's something with that law enforcement agency where there has been other cases of young black kids dying and nobody giving two fucks about them in this jurisdiction. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely postpone, Mama. Like I get like having the independent like what's that case? Like wanting to have like an independent investigation, if you will. But I do think that it's turning into something that I don't necessarily think that it had to do with the kids. I don't think that because this black kid was hanging out with 3 white kids on a boat, that there's a race thing that had to do with like, that's why he died. And I think people are turning it into that. But I see your point though on like, okay, cops are not investigating it based on the fact that it was these 3 white kids. One of them's mom or stepmom is a judge. Pretty sure that's pretty accurate across the board. I think everybody needs a fair investigation. I mean, right? Like if there's an issue with law enforcement, there's an issue with law enforcement. It doesn't have anything to do with whether you're black or white. I also struggle with the fact that like and this is probably because of the sheriff just himself and his wording of they didn't suspect foul play. But I think at that point they didn't see any evidence of foul play. So it's very common, white, black, no matter what. There was no evidence of foul play as in trauma to him or a gunshot wound or a stabbing or anything like that. Like there's no evidence of foul play. Like we're not suspecting that at this time, but shit, who knows what happens when the autopsy comes up. So the autopsy's been completed. We don't know the results of the autopsy, and obviously toxicology, because it's 4th of July. These kids are all out there drinking. And then the family had his body flown to have an independent autopsy done. I am mad at you. I'm mad at them for doing that. I mean, shit, look at Ellen Greenberg. What a fucking nightmare. So here's the thing, though, is if it's not a homicide investigation and it's just a death investigation, you're not going to have the same resources anyway, no matter what color the kid is. That's a very good point, Indiana girl. Very good point. Shaboobies, are you going live? I know Spooky said she was going live. Is Al Sharpton still out there? Yeah, have you heard of Maura Murray? I don't know, it can be hard to think about implicit bias, and it could actually be me just tired of seeing POC victimized and not getting a fair shake. True. The parents still don't have an incident report that had a 72-hour deadline. I'm not surprised, though. Because there's an uprising against the system, if you will. It's going to make it hard for them to share information. But it's also interesting because now they're sending all the information to a grand jury. So that the public can make the decision of what to do. Maura Murray is a rabbit hole. Is Shaboobies going live? Trini says there are police and judges who focus on not to ruin the lives of a few white kids over the death of a black kid. We've seen it grape cases where the focus is placed on not criminalizing the boys. I agree. I just don't. I'm more curious about trying to find what the history is of these particular officers that make this family go, we're not going to turn over the cell phone to them. We're going to do it independently. We're not going to trust the autopsy at all. We're going to go ahead and just get a second one. Where's Keith at? There he is. No, Spooky is. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I want to cover this. Maybe Shaboobies will come on with me and talk about it because I know she's covering it on her channel a lot. So, but this is one that I've been now down all these rabbit holes and trying to figure out all the distance and the time. And it kind of sucks because, I mean, there's just information that's just not known. They're not putting it out there in any way, shape, or form. All right, so I think more info should come out before people discuss it like it's a crime or not. I agree. That's exactly what I agree with. I think we definitely need more information. I mean, I get like this is a strong football kid, very strong swimmer, but I mean, intoxication. I don't know what else the kid might do. I have no idea. I have no idea about his personality. I don't know what else there could have been. But I know that he's found in an area where there's very high rip tides that I know some of the strongest swimmers that can't get out of. So, all right, is there any other cases that you guys want to talk about or want to make sure that I look at or cover or that you guys are following that I didn't mention and that we need to put on the list? Because that's my list. That's all I got. I mean, it's pretty big, but you want to talk about Zach Adams some more? Do you want me to do his? I was gonna before I did my hiatus from YouTube, I was gonna stream the original trial and the second trial, and I just never did it. What's up, Travis? We talked a little bit about the new documentary. I haven't watched it yet, so I said before I make any comments, I want to watch it. I am not a believer that he is guilty or not guilty. I am a believer that that trial was a fucking disaster, and I would like to see a new trial, but I don't want that for the families either. Oh, David. Oh, Celeste, right? Isn't that the girl who was found in the trunk of his Tesla? He finally got arrested. You lean guilty as fuck now? Is it after that documentary, or is there something else that made you lean that way? Because there's the stuff that came out with Scott Peterson's the attorneys. And how they had that the closed hearing. Bye, Thomas. He says, I was out touching grass, so I'll go back. But I don't know why I'm not a member. When I get to my computer, I'll fix that. Yes. I'm not a cat. I don't think I can lean guilty as fuck. You can just put your shoulder on it. Put your shoulder on it. You know, there's also people who say that there was another 2 pregnant women that were out walking their dogs that same day. and that they believe that those eyewitnesses saw the other pregnant women walking the dog, because not one of the eyewitnesses that had come forward actually knew Lacey. They didn't know her personally. And so they think that that might also be part of the mistake. And then they also said that because all those eyewitnesses were, I mean, they were all listed for the defense attorneys. Why didn't the defense attorneys call them? That case is a fascinating case regardless of your opinion on it. Okay, so what else is there? So we got, I'll put David on the list. I'll take a look. Yeah, I didn't really overly follow too much of that. I did watch him get arrested. He should get life in prison for the awful hair. This hairstyle. I don't know what the fuck he's thinking. Never have a slam dunk case. Always pull it all out. Have you ever heard of the podcast, The Trial of Frank Carson? A defense attorney arrested for murder and literally framed. He was acquitted. He sued the DA and won millions. That's who, the DA that lost, that, wait, the DA that arrested or tried Frank Carson? Is that what you're saying? Oh gosh, Journey takes it. Yes, that's fucking terrible. That is terrible. She's talking about the little girl, her parent. Basically, it's like a Harmony Montgomery 2.0. Alexi Treviso. There's still no trial date for her. Not when I look, there's like nothing even pending. That girl is just out living her fucking life. Like, doesn't matter. It's crazy. That is crazy. So they must not feel like they have the evidence to support taking her to trial. Alexi Treviso is the one who gave birth, went to the emergency room with back pain, gave birth in the bathroom, and then killed the baby in the bathroom. And then she was just allowed to go off to college. Modesto said these DAs who are on the Brady list now were no longer employed with the county, right? Because they fired them and then hired them as contractors. That's fucking interesting. She should become a victim's advocate like Casey Anthony. God, that fucking girl. I can't stand that woman. All right, you guys. Well, if anything else comes up, let me know. Otherwise, be live most likely Monday. Peace. So, Spooky, you guys want to drop her channel again? Apparently, Spooky's going to be going live, not Shaboogies. I will see you guys on the flip side. Go enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I will see you guys soon.
Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown. Down the rabbit stops, no one knows. We're going head into the unknown.